had to change the way I move before I change the way they see me. Turn me up. Let's ride. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's ride. Hey, hey, hey. I had to clean up my mindset before I cleaned up my image. Can't build a new future, still trapping, no decisions. Every scar left a lesson, every loss gave me vision. Had to stop looking backwards just to see my position. I ain't chasing the noise, I let purpose make the sound. Stop searching for approval when I finally found myself now. I don't need a room full of people saying my name. When I know who I am, I don't move the same. They watch the numbers change, they watch the seasons shift, but the one thing that stays solid was the fire in my spirit. Too focused to be bitter, too grown to stay little. Every challenge built my armor, now I'm sharper in the middle. I found my power when I lost validation. Turn my pain into my motivation. This ain't ego, this elevation. Every setback was my preparation. I changed my heart, now my art hits different. I changed my mind. Old conditions. I don't move for the lights. I move because I'm driven. If it don't match my purpose, I don't need permission. Pivot, elevate, create. That's the energy, 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 energy. Pivot, elevate, create. That's the legacy, energy, energy. Hey, hey, hey. Every masterpiece started when they told somebody no. Now they watching every level while I'm building my own road. I never had to fake it, never had to play it road. I was busy building something they can never take control. I got the speakers knocking, windows shaking, dreams in motion. No more waiting, no more people pleasing, no more imitation. Queens build empire. Wait, we don't beg for invitations. See, growth gets quiet before everybody sees it. They love the flowers but forget who planted the seeds. I was working in the shadows, I was fighting through the night. Now I'm standing in my moment and the view looks right. You can question my journey but respect what it took. You only see the chapter, you don't know the whole book. If I change, let me change. If I grow, let me grow. I was never meant to stay in the places that broke me. New mindset, new direction, new energy, new reflection. I don't owe an apology for becoming who I'm meant to be. I changed my soul, now my voice got power. Changed my vision, now I'm rising every hour. Every setback made me stronger inside. Every mountain built the woman I am tonight. We don't fall, we rise. We don't stop, we shine. I created my story, now I'm walking in my light. Hey, 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 pivot, elevate, elevate, create. That's the energy, energy, energy. Pivot, elevate, elevate, create. That's the legacy. They thought I was changing, I was evolving. They thought I was lost, I was rebuilding. Create from the soul, create from the soul, create from the soul. Yeah, yeah. Hallelujah. Let's ride. Woo! Hey, hey. Turn me up. Hey, hey. Turn me up. Turn me up. I had to clean up my spirit before I cleaned up my page. Can't write a new chapter, still living the old age. Every scar became wisdom, every loss became gain. Gotta use your sunshine and he'll even use your rain. I ain't chasing the crowd, I let purpose do the running. When heaven write the vision, you don't gotta force nothing. I stop begging for applause, now peace is my reward. Every closed door push me closer to the Lord. See the algorithm change, but my mission stay the same. If they leave, let them leave, I ain't built on human praise. I'm too blessed to stay bitter, too chosen to stay little. God sharpened every lesson, now I'm cutting through the middle. Let's go. Found myself when I masterpiece started with somebody saying no. Now they watching every level while I'm putting on the show. I ain't never had to fake and never sold my own soul. God gave me the blueprint, I'm just building what he wrote. Got the speakers knocking, windows vibrating. Boom! Faith over fear, that's the conversation. No more people pleasing, no more imitation. Queens build kingdoms, we don't chase validation. See, both look lonely till the harvest show up. Everybody want the fruit, nobody water they stuff. I've been praying in the dark, now I'm shining in the light. You can hate the destination, but respect the sacrifice. Talk to him. If God before me, who can stop me? Nobody. If heaven called me, who can block me? Nobody. If I evolve, don't apologize. Truth ain't betrayal, it's survival. I changed my soul. Now my soul's got light. I changed my vision. Now the future look bright. Every setback made me stronger inside. Every mountain was preparing this climb. We don't fall, we rise. We don't quit, we fight. God wrote my story. Now I'm walking in the light. Elevate, pray, create kingdom over cloud. Elevate, pray, create. That's what I'm about. They thought I was changing. I was becoming. Amen. Amen. Hey, hey, hey. Create from the soul. Hey. Create from the soul. Hey. Create from the soul.
Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl Golden, and we back with another live, y'all. We are going to be doing the part two, as you can see, to our celebrity gossip with purpose. And we had, an excellent part one when we listened to interview with Charlamagne the God, Tabitha Brown, and Gabrielle Union, all sitting down with Angie Martinez to have some excellent conversations on things that we all experience in our own lives. But before we get deep into that, y'all, how is everyone doing? It is about 11:50 a.m. here, Eastern Time in the Carolinas. And child, let me tell y'all, it's raining like cats and dogs outside. So I am inside. We won't be going out today. We're staying nice and dry. But despite the weather being rainy, I'm still in a great mood. And I have my lovely co-host Imani here with me that's going to be joining in just a moment, y'all. And so we're going to be getting into this part two. I hope you guys are having an excellent day in whatever respectful time zone you're in, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, or the night for you. And I hope maybe you're having better weather than I'm having, right? But anyway, let's go ahead and bring Imani up. So Imani, girl, what is going on? You are still on vacation, but you're coming to kick it for a little bit. So how's the vacation going, girl?
It's going really well. It's kind of a work and vacation. So I've been talking to a few people, doing a few things that we need to do, and yeah, I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time. I'm going out for brunches, lunches. I'm doing some work in the background.
You still there, girl? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Could be because of this rain, child, this weather. But I can't hear you. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. It's been acting crazy. StreamYard's acting crazy, but of course when the weather is bad, things be acting nuts too on this thing. So it's all right, world. We're gonna get it figured out. We're gonna get it figured out. But so yeah, she was just getting ready to get into telling us about her lovely vacation, which I'm glad she was able to go on. But you know, like a lot of other people, child, she loves to work. So she's vacationing and working at the same time. But she'll let us know a little bit more about that. She'll be right back. She just resetting her sound settings and her mic, and she will be right back, y'all. But yeah, so I hope y'all having better weather than I'm having, y'all, because this rain and stuff, it ain't it. It ain't it for me. But also the hot weather ain't it for me either. But yeah. So let me go ahead and bring. Okay, let me see. You back up there, girl. Let me see if you sound back good.
Hello?
Yup, it's back good.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You could go ahead now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've been doing lots of stuff. I've been having lunches, brunches, dinners, also doing some work in the background. So I'm talking to them. So yeah, it's been a work vacation, but it's been good. It's been good. How have you been?
I've been doing pretty good, girl. Just hanging in there, child. You know, we have to hang in there sometimes. But no, everything really is good. We're very blessed, you know, because we do have our life and our health and stuff like that. You know, some things ups and downs, round and around. That's just how life goes. But outside of that, no, everything's really well. Mama's doing well. JJ's doing well, and Carlos is doing well too. So we're having a good time. Just spending time together. That's really it, you know. And child, one minute I gotta stay cool, and the next minute I gotta stay dry. I just can't be sure which day it's gonna be.
Yeah, I haven't watched that much of YouTube. I've been watching a few things here and there, but I haven't watched that much. But, you know, and I don't really have that much for housekeeping, but a general message to people from what I've noticed that's going on around the YouTube streets. And it really revolves around, it's a couple of proverbs that I will say, and I won't say the patois, I'll just say them in English so people understand. What's meant for you cannot be taken from you. And the loudest critics are often the least accomplished. And small, consistent steps lead to great success. So, you know, I think one of the hardest lessons to learn is not when strangers disappoint you, but when people you trust reveal they weren't truly in your corner. And there comes a moment in life when the mask really slips and the conversations become clearer, the actions make sense. The support that you once thought was genuine is exposed, sometimes as competition, and the encouragement turns out to have been conditional. And you realize that some people weren't really standing beside you because they wanted to see you succeed. They were standing close enough to measure you. And let me tell you something, jealousy is a powerful emotion. It can make people celebrate your setbacks whilst pretending to comfort you. It can cause people to minimize your achievements, spread doubt about your character, or quietly work behind your back to And sometimes the greatest disappointment isn't that you find out that a friendship isn't really real. It's discovering the friendship never really existed in the way you believed it did. But the good news is, revelation is a gift. Uh, and a lot of these people, they don't even leave your life. Some people do leave your life, but not everyone that leaves your life is a loss. Some people remove themselves because they can no longer benefit from your kindness, your access, your energy, or your success. Sometimes God, life, or simply time reveals people that are there to protect you and not to hurt you. The mistake many of us make is responding with bitterness, revenge, or trying to convince people to see the truth. Instead, we need to choose something that's more powerful: peace. You don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to expose every person. You don't have to explain yourself to people who have already decided not to understand you. Your energy is too valuable. Keep building, keep learning, keep growing, keep smiling. Success is the best response to hidden opposition. And remember this: people who are secure in themselves are inspired by your success. People who are insecure are threatened by it. Their reaction tells you more about where they are in life than where you are. So if you've recently discovered that someone you called a friend might have been secretly working against you, don't allow that discovery to harden your heart. Just let it sharpen your wisdom. Protect your peace, strengthen your boundaries, value loyalty, and keep moving forward. Because people who genuinely belong in your life won't compete with your light, they'll help it to shine even brighter. And that's what I have from some of the stuff I've been observing around the traps. And I think that many people can take what they want from that. But if it don't apply, let it fly. And that's for me. That's it for me today.
That was a wonderful, wonderful intro, girl. I love that. That was very beautiful. And it couldn't have been further from the truth. That's something that, a lot of things you were saying, me and mama, talk about all the time. And, even me and you, we talk about it as well. But yeah, as you grow and you mature and you navigate through life, and you come in, encounters with different people, whether it's in the workplace, it's in the church, relationships, or maybe just in the grocery store and out in social spaces in public. You do sometimes, find yourself, connecting with people that, you just never know. It may be, a relationship where the person may be in your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. You never know. And that's just sometimes how it goes. But one of the things that we like to do is keep optimism and positivity here. And I know, child, I'll be taking trips. So I've been taking my trips now on the streets. And to be honest, there has been some really decent strides that I think we seeing, where I think a lot of people are just trying to, turn over different leaves and turn the life around and make a change. It hasn't been all bad. It's been some really interesting changes and shifts when it comes to the energy that we've been seeing on the YouTube streets. It's not all bad, but I do have just a little bit of a message, that I wanted to leave real quick for the housekeeping before we get into, the content. Um, but yeah, what I'm seeing right now across YouTube, I can really truly say that it seems to be a real shift happening, at least in this sector. And it is beautiful to watch. Um, we ain't fully where we could be, or it's not fully where it could be, but things are undeniably seeming to be getting better. and the energy does seem to be moving in the right direction. So, to anyone tuning in right now who is fighting through, and we'll talk about a few of these things, and you'll hear some of the celebrities that are going to be speaking today talk about a few of these things. If you're fighting through anxiety, if you're trying to turn your life, your habits, and your ways around, or you're someone who has survived the absolute darkest days of your life, I want y'all to understand that it is a blessing regardless, because what's most important is you're still here. That means that you still have time and you can keep pushing, changing, elevating, and becoming the best version of yourself. So, whatever it is you're going through, even though it may look like it's down, even though it may look like it's dark, even though it may look like it may not get better, you are going to be just fine, and just keep pushing. So I just think there's a lot of positivity that's happening, like in the atmosphere, not just here on the YouTube platform, but in the world, considering all the things we're going through. We talk about that here as well. There is a shift that's happening, and I just feel as I can see it and I can feel it. But that's literally all I got for housekeeping, and I don't have too much more to say. Um, Before we get into the synopsis of what the live is about, Imani, did you have a few more things you want to add, or you want to just jump right into it? You can unmute if it's not stuck again, child, because the things be stuck. Okay, it's stuck. All right, so she gonna reset it. But anyway, let's just jump right into it, y'all, and we'll regroup in just a minute. So, like I said, this is the part two to a live that I did the other day. And, we listened to three very powerful conversations and interviews with three people that are probably very well known. We got Charlamagne the God, who sits down with Angie Martinez, Tabitha Brown, who sits down with Angie Martinez, and Gabrielle Union, who has been sitting down with Angie Martinez. And they each have a different story and a different, lesson to tell when it comes to some of the things that they're navigating through in their lives and have navigated through in their life. So with Charlamagne the God, he's talking about truth, accountability, and having a very complex conversation. He speaks on, how his ego almost ruined his potential, how therapy altered his perspective on relationships, and what it takes to have uncomfortable conversations, sometimes with complicated people, without compromising your own integrity. They talk a lot about how do you hold grace for people when you are genuinely trying to evolve, and what does accountability actually look like in your personal life versus your public perception. Accountability is not a punishment. It is a doorway to freedom. True maturity means looking at your own flaws without making excuses, owning the harm you caused, and doing the daily work to become a person of character. We also are going to be talking about, okay, you back, girl. Okay. So I was just giving a rundown of the synopsis of what we'll be talking about on the live. But I was just asking if you had anything you wanted to add before I had got into that part. But did you?
No, no, no. We can get straight into the video.
Oh,
Yeah, I think we got some gremlins in the street yard, but that's fine. That's all cool.
yeah, yeah. But God is good. And then we'll also
All
be
the
talking
time.
all the time. We'll also be listening to a little bit from Tabitha Brown, and she will be speaking on faith, turning points, and saying yes to yourself in a detailed breakdown. So, Tabitha will be breaking down the exact moments her faith was tested during her physical struggles, the decision to trust God over corporate expectations, and how she stayed grounded in her marriage and identity when success finally hit. How do you keep going when you're waiting on a prayer that hasn't been answered yet? And setting hard boundaries with loved ones while staying rooted in love. Your journey was never meant to look like anyone else's. When you walk in divine alignment, you don't have to force doors open. You authentically will prepare the room for you before you even arrive. And then Gabrielle Union will be talking about hidden struggles and choosing your peaceful era. Gabrielle candidly discusses navigating PTSD, finding accessible trauma therapy platforms like Nema Health, and we do have those links we'll provide for you guys in the chat, and learning to build a tight, safe circle of friends while stepping into her peaceful era. How do you spot when a friend is struggling in silence behind a smiling face? And why finding real specialized support for trauma is a vital act of self love. Healing is not a destination, it's an everyday commitment to yourself. Never apologize for protecting the peace you had to fight so hard to cultivate. So, y'all, that is the synopsis of what we will be talking about and listening to in this live. So, let me go ahead, y'all, and pop up some banners. And we're going to get into our first one, which is going to be Charlamagne the God. And remember, y'all, this is part two. So, if y'all have not checked out part one, y'all can find that here as well. Um, and we're doing this live here from Mama Warriors channel. So, these videos will be here for now, but I will be uploading them on mine as well moving forward. But anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and get right into it. We're going to pick up where we left off. Now, at this part where he's speaking, I ran it back a tad. He's speaking on when he first began, and he actually was like a mentor and worked up under Wendy Williams. And Wendy Williams kind of put him in a position to feel like he was, a pit bull. He would have to go out and attack people and talk about people because that's what she instructed him to do. And for the opportunity, he decided to do it. And so, that's what we'll be getting into in just a moment, y'all. Give me just a second. I believe we're having more technical difficulties. So hold on. I know y'all can hear me, but I can't control nothing because my screen went blank. So give me just a sec, y'all. I'm gonna refresh and I will be right back. I do apologize. All right, y'all. So I am back. Let's go ahead and try this again. Can y'all hear me? I hope you can. This is terrible work, but you have to push through regardless. So let's get back into it, y'all. We're gonna hop right into the video. Give me just a second to get everything set up here. One moment. Let's take a song break while I get everything reset. I do apologize.
They handed us the script, but we don't gotta read it no more. Yeah. Same old story, different page. Same old ink on a different stage. Got my own people on the corner, pushing me closer to the edge with rage. Willie Lynch probably laughing in his grave, seeing centuries later we still enslaved. House divided, envy contagious, the blueprint still working. Ain't that outrageous? Yeah, stack the odds, casino game. Bet against ourselves just to chase some fame. Another brother falls, everybody crying. Last week behind closed doors, they was quietly plotting, trying to dim his light cause his future too bright. Crabs in the bucket pulling down every flight. Generational wounds pass hand to hand, fighting each other instead of the man with the plan. Iron chains became gold links, different metals, same prison when nobody thinks. Freedom ain't jewelry, freedom is soul. Can't buy liberation if your spirit been sold. We just echoes in the barrel, spinning circles every day. History whispers softly, but we keep looking away. They handed us the script, now we acting every part. Time to break the cycle, time to heal the broken heart. This ain't the dream they marched for, this ain't the future they could see. This whole thing was a setup, it's time we set ourselves free. Same concrete soaked with tears, same pain carried through the years, but we tear each other down for applause. Temporary likes while nobody heals. Call you a sellout when you lead a block. Soon as success make the whole world stop, but the real betrayal ain't broke the flight. It's poisoning your people out of envy and spite. You mad cause this watch gleam, mad cause our band gleam. Meanwhile the architects of the cage still counting money behind the scenes. They love the chaos, love the smoke, love watching family lose all hope. Another headline, another mother cry, another generation acting while they dying. The trap ain't poverty, the trap is division. The chains ain't visible, they're built from our decisions. We carry anger in our chests, years of trauma, years of stress, then pass it to our own bloodline. Instead of putting evil to rest, love became weakness, unity became strange, clout became currency. Everybody chained. Round and round we go, history keeps repeating, cause nobody let it go. But tonight we change the pole, we build every hope. This ain't the life they believe, the chains only live if we choose not to leave. Let the echoes disappear, let the barrel finally break. Leave the hate where it belongs, for our children's sake. No more jealousy, no more self-destruction, no more borrowed hatred. It's unity or it's nothing. We free, we free.
All right, y'all, we are back. I am so sorry about that. This is, some technical difficulties, issues, and things that's going on. These things keep going on, child, and I'm about not going to talk about it. But anyway, y'all, let's see if we can push forward while we can. Like I said, we're going to get into this interview, and we'll be picking up where we left off with Charlamagne the God. And the last thing he was speaking about is some of his experience working with Wendy Williams and being her said pit bull. And, it helped get his career to where it is, that opportunity of a lifetime. But sometimes you have to ask yourself, is it worth it or not? So let's get into it.
It's like earlier this year, we were helping her, right? Because she was in a bad situation. But then, you see some things that remind you of that old energy. And you're like, I don't really want that in my life. Love her. Wish her the best. Glad we was able to, connect her with certain people. But then when you see even how she might have treated to certain people you connected her with, So it's just like, let me, I wish her the best.
Yeah.
Want the best for her. But that was a season in my life. And I always say people come into your life for, reasons, seasons, and, sometimes lifetimes. Those lifetime ones are very rare.
Yeah.
But, you appreciate the seasons and you move on to the next one.
And it was influential to you. Like it helped you a lot,
Absolutely.
right? Like
man, I probably wouldn't be in the position I'm in now if it wasn't for that. And I don't even like to have those type of hypothetical conversations because the reality is I'm in the position I am because that was part of my journey. I was coming from South Carolina. I was in Columbia at the time. I think Columbia's market number 93.
Jesus.
To go from market number 93 to market number 1 being Wendy Williams' co-host, like who gets that kind of look? Like that's some stuff you see in a movie, or you watch on a TV show and be like, yo, that's damn near impossible.
You would have probably done anything she told you to do, right? well, now
I was like, yo, I did do damn near anything she told me to do. Like, yes. Yeah, I was her attack dog. Like, not only that, I was living with her, like living with them. Like they were giving me a place to stay. I wasn't getting paid. I didn't get paid for like a year and a half. But I do that though. And that's why I always tell the next generation, recognize opportunity when there's not a paycheck attached to it.
Yeah.
Because you can't put a price on that kind of opportunity. Like, it's like, yo, we want you up here to be her co-host, but we can't pay you. All right.
Eesh.
I'm out. I gotta figure it out. Take that first step, even if you don't see the rest of the staircase.
Mm-hmm. To go back to the thing about you changing your life and your wife, what do you think? Why do you think she hung in there with you?
I have no idea. That goes back to what you're saying about the forgiveness. Like, you don't always have to forgive people. And if you do forgive them, you can still forgive them and move on and realize like, nah, this person, that energy isn't for me. Like, that's the blessing, right? The blessing is when somebody forgives you, but they decide to still be in your life in some way, shape, or form. Like when somebody forgives you and they're like, yeah, but that energy, I don't want that around me. That's when it's like, oh man. But we've been together since we was kids. Like, we've been, I think on top of everything else, we're actually friends. And so she knows me for real. Like she knows my heart for real. She knows who I am for real. So she was able to say, okay, you made some mistakes, but let's see. The best apology is changed behavior. Plus, we was like, growing up together, it's not like I was the only person. You know what I mean? Like she was in college, right? Every girl goes to college and goes through their whole phase and stuff like that. So it's just like it works. It works both ways, So that's just.
But we only know your story. We know you were a bad husband at the beginning because you self-proclaimed bad husband at the beginning.
But I was always a good boyfriend, right? But then it's like, man, honestly, it was just living this new hip hop radio lifestyle.
Famous money.
I remember talking to somebody one time, and they told me that every superhero is going to try out their new superpowers because it was like you've never been that version of yourself. And the person I'm talking about is a superstar, by the way, right? So he was like, you've never been this version of yourself. So you're going to try out your new superpowers. And I didn't understand what he meant.
Who is it?
It was actually Chris Rock.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember him just saying that to me. He was like,
that sounds like a Chris Rock, something Chris Rock would say.
He was like, every superhero is going to try out their new superpowers because you've never been this version of yourself. And there's going to be a lot of things that come at you that never came at you before. And I remember, and I always think about that. And I always think about this quote from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, when you see men fall, don't laugh, learn. Because the same things that tempted them on their way up that caused them to probably, have these bad habits and vices are the same temptations that you are going to face as well. So it's like those the things that I constantly think about. Like, you see great men fall, you know, I'm going to laugh a little bit sometimes.
You're definitely going to laugh. And you're going to call him Donkey of the Day.
Listen, Angie, rubbing another man's nut on your nipples is kind of funny, right? That's pretty hysterical. But so I'm going to laugh a little bit, but I'm also going to learn from the situation.
What have you learned from that situation?
Oh my God, man. I watched that documentary. I watched that documentary on an amazing day.
You watched all 4 parts of
all 4 parts. I watched, and this was whatever day we're taping this. It was last week. It was last week Friday.
I wasn't expecting to talk about this today, but we should talk about it. I rarely talk about it. I don't know why. I'm so conflicted about the whole.
You lived it.
I know. And I never had the best relationship with him. People don't really know that, and so
we've had these conversations
privately
about well, yes, about how you feel that darkness.
I feel darkness from him. Yes, I remember the clip too, where you telling him you felt the darkness from him.
Absolutely.
But I did feel that darkness, and we never had the best relationship. I tried sometimes just because of the proximity and because of our worlds, and you could not be inspired in terms of work ethic and what he's created. You know, there is another side. So I tried.
What was it? Was it the things you heard or things you felt, things you experienced? Combination of it all?
Combination of it all. I just personally just never had we knew each other, but I just always kind of.
That's me too. I never wanted to go to the parties, never wanted to hang out on the boat.
I don't think I've ever been to a party. I could totally be wrong. And somebody will pull up a picture of me at some party that says I don't remember, but I have no recollection.
But I feel the same way too. Like I saw a person trying to try at one point.
You did see that?
Oh yeah, there's a video. I don't know where it's at, but somebody took a video. This is the first Revolt Music Conference, and me and Andre was super cool. I love Andre, and God bless the dead. And so I did the first Revolt Music Conference because of Dre.
All right, y'all. So I'm gonna pause it right there for a quick little commentary break before we go on to the next part. But we started off from him talking about a little bit at the end there. About the opportunities that he got from Wendy Williams when he was young, how he basically said it was such great opportunity. He literally would have done anything and did do anything, that she asked him to do. But he also went on to talk now a little bit more about, some other relationships that he had, y'all, and y'all know which ones those are. But before I get into my commentary, Imani, did you were you able to catch most of that, or with these StreamYard issues, it's going in and out, so I don't know if you can hear it or not. Let me know.
Listen, I'm just going to go off what I got from, sorry, because I may be going up. Where are we on the video? What's the timestamp? Can you hear me?
31 minutes in.
Oh, we're 31 minutes in. Yeah. So let's just talk about what he was talking about. So we're 31 minutes in, you said?
Yeah, so far we're 31 minutes in total. But, we did the part 1 on the other live. But for this portion of it, we're only about 12 minutes in for the second portion.
Oh, right. Okay. Because so he's gone through the bit about oh yeah, he talked about being Wendy's attack dog during his career, and he was basically telling young broadcasters not to compromise themselves to obtain opportunities, and that unpaid opportunities can still become life-exchanging experiences when they open important doors. And she asked why his wife remained committed despite his mistakes. And he said he believes that lasting friendship and history changed his behaviors, and gave their relationship another chance. And because he says fame and success introduces temptations that many people are unprepared to manage. And he also talked about Chris Rock's advice about trying out your new superpowers, and that's in inverted commas, after becoming successful. He also referenced Louis Farrakhan's advice that observing others fall should teach you humility rather than encourage ridicule. And that was what I was referring to when I was referring to what I was referring to earlier on in my opening. That some people like to crow over what they feel is others' downfall. But be careful. Be careful how much you crow, because your time comes. Everybody's time comes. And some people never learn from the first time they fall. They got to fall again and again to learn that you shouldn't be crowing about other people, because it comes full circle. So, he really was talking about his personal healing and professional ethics, and also the shock jock culture. But there was a lot about forgiveness, and you've got to have a strong character and integrity to go through some of this, go through some of this famous stuff. But that's what I got, really. And I was a bit in and out, but I think I've got to where we got to.
Yep, we're all the way caught up. So you want to go ahead and play a little bit more of it?
Yeah, please.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, did you get to say what you needed to say? Because I was trying to go in and out. Sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. It's okay. Because I have mine kind of like all grouped up. So I'll just speak on it after
Yeah.
this second segment right here. But we'll get right into
Yeah.
it, because with the tech stuff, it's putting us behind in time. So let's just keep
Yeah.
going forward.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And so we walked into the trailer, and Diddy was sitting in there, and this was right after Kim passed, and he was just like super down. And I remember he just said to me, he goes, man, I like all the conversations you be having about mental health and therapy and stuff, because, I realized I've never been happy. Like, he said that to me. He's like, I realized I've never been happy.
Wow.
Like, he said, never been happy. And so, when I hear somebody doing that, and I also remember being at, I was at the Potter House one time. It was the weekend of Bishop T.D. Jakes' birthday party. And he had a party that night. And then the next day we all went to church. I love Potter House. I watched them online, Pastor Torrey Roberts and Bishop T.D. Jakes and Sarah Jakes Roberts. And so we in the church, and when I say he was, I don't know what he had going on, but he was going through it. I mean, Holy Ghost jumping up and down, tears. And I just remember looking at him like, boy, he's going through it. Like,
fighting
so
demons.
clearly he was trying, right? So, I give everybody the opportunity to evolve, but that I'm not the universe. I'm not God. So it don't matter what I think. Like, you still got to deal with whatever you was putting out there. And clearly that's what's happening now.
Yeah. It's funny to even talk about it, because I don't know. I just, like, somebody asked me the other day if I would interview Puff if he came out.
Would you?
I'd have to think about it. It wouldn't be a younger me would say, of course, it's my job. Absolutely, yes. Now I'd have to say, what kind of offering would that be to the world? Would it be worth it for me? Do I want to put myself in that noise? Can I do something really meaningful? I'd have to ask myself some questions like that. It's not just yes, I'll do it because it'll be huge. I mean, I say no to huge things all the time.
That's what I love about you. I mean, this is so funny. Debbie Brown, who's a great friend of mine, it's my good sister. She literally said, she texted me like 2 days ago and was like, yo, because she loves Tupac. Like, I'm talking about, like, she's the person
Tupac
that buys
tapes haunt me.
Exactly. She loves Tupac. She was like, yo, Angie really needs to put out the Tupac audio.
Debbie Brown said that?
Brown said
maybe
that.
It's time then.
And I said to her, well, she never wanted to put it out because, she thought it would be inflammatory.
Yeah.
Right?
I know there's a rumor on the internet that Puff somehow paid me for those tapes. Like I held those tapes for all those years so that Puff could pay me.
Wow.
It's absolutely, there's zero truth to that. But but you're right. That's why I never did it. And then now I think, for what is the point now? There's nothing there that changes history or changes, but I know people are interested. So
I think people want to break it down psychologically, because there's this.
Let's do it. You want to do it with me? You want to do like a.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Let's do it.
Because you know what it is? I think we realized Pac wasn't as crazy as people thought.
And also he was young.
He was very young.
He hadn't gone through
Very young.
Imagine Pac after therapy healed.
When did he do that? Was it 24, 25?
Yes, 24.
So his full frontal cortex wasn't even fully
This is what I'm
developed yet.
saying. Imagine him going through the other side of Charlamagne. Imagine the other side of Pac, what that would have been. I would see then I look at the tapes and I go, well, now that has meaning. If I release it in a way where it actually has meaning and does something good for the world, I want to just put it out so people could talk shit about it and have it on the internet for whatever reason.
This is a great question, because you actually have gotten to meet all of these people that are mythical to us. Yeah. Would Tupac have evolved like Jay, or would he have evolved like 50?
Like Jay, but different. I see Tupac with having institutions, universities, programs, schools. Yeah, I see him well, Nipsey didn't even get to become Nipsey, the Nipsey that he would have been, but in that kind of lane. I don't think he valued money and I'm not speaking as somebody who knew him the best. I had, one amazing day with him and some small interactions other than that, but I've analyzed him just like everybody else has.
But he knew you well enough to say, I want Angie Martinez to come out here and interview me.
Well, he didn't know me at all. He used to listen to me when he was in jail. That's why.
Got you.
So of the people that he would be listening to, he'd say, wow, I respect you on the air. You never talk shit about me. I've never heard you say anything that was not true. And I thought if somebody would listen to me, it would be you. That was literally what he said to me. And I was like, shit, in the middle of this, fuck. But it was the young me. I said, okay.
You had to go do it.
I had to go do it. Yeah, so I did it. But
that's always been your superpower, though.
What?
Making people comfortable. Yeah. And being such a great listener. Like I used to always tell you that. I'm like, yo, that's a skill I want. I want a skill.
You have that skill.
I think I've developed it now a little bit. Like actually making people comfortable. It's like, I don't know if you ever seen that. It's like this folk tale about the wind and the sun, and the wind and the sun had a battle about who they could make take their jacket off. Right. And so this guy, so this guy walking with a jacket on. And so the wind goes first, and the wind is blowing all crazy, trying to blow the guy's jacket off. But the guy grabs the jacket tighter and he's holding on to it because the wind is blowing. But then the sun came out, and the sun is all, high in the sky, and it's radiating its beams, and it making everything really hot. And the guy's like, oh. The guy takes his coat off. Next thing you know, the guy takes his shirt off. And by the end of the story, the guy's laying under a tree with his boxers on, just sunbathing, basically. Right. So, I always I'd rather be the sun. You've always been the sun.
That's the nicest compliment ever. Thank you.
It's the truth.
Thank you, man. Would you interview Puff right now, to go back to that question?
Okay, so I'm going to pause right there real quick, because I thought that analogy that he just came up with, or whatever the story is, that he came up with, that's really interesting. I've never heard that before. Would you rather be the wind or the sun? But I didn't really fully understand why he said he considered Angie to be the sun. So maybe I didn't catch it properly. But that is an interesting thing to say. If you're the wind and someone has a jacket on, they're gonna button that jacket up tighter, to keep it on so it doesn't blow off from the wind. But the sun is going to force you to take the jacket off. So is that she kind of has a personality that can force people to open up? Is that what he meant? What you think, Imani? I'm really curious about that part right there.
Yeah, I think she's got an interviewing style that allows people to be their authentic self.
Okay, I get it.
What? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. She allows people to be their authentic self, and they're comfortable enough to reveal, things about themselves without feeling shame or judgment. She's a really good interviewer because she just draws stuff out of people. I mean, the thing that struck me most about this section was that when Charlamagne said, in his discussions with Sean Combs or Diddy or Puff Daddy or whoever you know him as, that he revealed. Sorry?
Can I finish your sentence?
Yeah. Go.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm playing. I know what you're saying, that in his life, he doesn't think he has ever been happy. Is that it?
Yeah. And that is really, really sad, because regardless of what goes on in your life, I could never say that there's never been a time that I've been happy. I've been happy when I gave birth to my son. I've been happy when he's had achievements. I've been happy when I've had achievements. I've been happy when other people in my family have had achievements. But to actually say that in your whole life, in your 50 whatever years you've had, and having all that you have achieved, that you've never been really happy, that for me is so sad for anybody to say. I don't think that people appreciate the gifts that they are actually given. They're always looking, a lot of people are looking at what other people have and thinking that those people have more than them, and they don't appreciate what they have, their family, lots of things that you can appreciate on a daily basis. You can appreciate the fact that you wake up and you're alive, because some people don't wake up. And I find that
Absolutely.
really, really sad.
It's very sad.
And
And
the other thing that she said, that she's got unreleased interviews with Tupac, and that she withheld them because she thought they would inflame existing conflicts. And I actually think that he would have matured, because he changed because of circumstances and things that happened to him. And a lot of what happened because involved other people actually having a part to play in all that BS. And I won't say any names, but I think he would have been a great man because of his foundation. If you look at his mother and father, who they were, he came from good people, and no, I just think, and people should go back and look at some of the interviews that he did when he was 20 years old, and the things he was saying about billionaires and other stuff, and people that own a lot of stuff who don't want to share it, which is what we're facing now. But yeah, I think it talks about, legacy. It talks about journalism, and it talks about redemption in this section, rather than focusing on the scandal. Because notice they didn't focus on the Diddy scandal. They focused on other stuff that's outside of the stuff that people want to talk about, like more oil and all the rest of it. And it really, that for me is what stuck out. That he said he'd never been happy. I mean, hell, he's had a lot more chances to be happy than a lot more people. And I pass homeless people every day when I go out to the supermarket, and they're outside and they have no money and nowhere to sleep. And I pass addicts every day that don't have hope. And I look at them and I think, why am I that bothered? This is why this crap that goes on this platform doesn't really impact me, because I think you guys are not looking at what's really going on out there and what's really happening to people in the real world.
right, exactly. And I just want to piggyback off of, a few of the things that you spoke out about, which, within this segment, so many great pieces of wisdom and think pieces for us to think about. So number one, and I'll go like backwards, right? But number one, from what you said and from what Angie said, as far as her having, like this footage or whatnot, where she's done an interview with Tupac and she said she don't want to release it because it would cause more, friction or whatnot, or things of that nature during that time. That shows a level of integrity, even when it comes to being in the media space. Just because you're in the media space and you're someone who has the ability to have these excellent interviews and conversations with these great and legendary people, you still have a sense of humanity and integrity about yourself that, makes you feel as though, well, I don't have to have, like the 100,000, views on this interview because I know I'd probably get them. But it's more so about, do I care about this person over the views and the success that I might can get from this interview? So I like the fact that she had integrity when it came to that. And that was even back in the day, like before it even got as much of a push that it is right now, as far as like these algorithms, these numbers, and things like that when it comes to content. Also, like you said, what stood out that is very sad about the Diddy situation is the fact that he did open up and say, like, I don't think in my life, not one time have I ever been happy. And you have to just think to yourself, like literally sit and think to yourself, that has to be a miserable life. Like that explains a lot when it comes to like you said also, the tastefulness of them to not even bring up the scandal. But I do believe that that has to speak volumes into maybe why the scandal and the things that he went on to do and participate in came to fruition, because someone who walks around with that amount of like, just sadness all the time, like you're sad all the time or angry all the time, is like all of the emotions that you must be walking around with must be negative, because joy and happiness, that's a positive emotion. That's a good feeling emotion. That means you were probably walking around and living majority of your life never feeling good, never feeling warm and tingly inside, never no happiness whatsoever. And again, like you said, Imani, it goes to show as well, because a lot of people that will see him even be out in public and stuff, when you see people with a smile on their face and you see people living their best life and they got this kind of car and their house is this big and their bank account is this big, and you thinking that they're having the time of their life and they're living their best life, you never know what they're wrestling with deep down inside. Like that is a mask. That's a persona that they put on for the people to see. But deep down inside, they're really not happy. And it also goes to show you as well that things and things that you can obtain as far as money, clothes, cars, fame, that can't make you happy either. So you got to really dig down deep and see what is the reason why I'm not happy, and can I find a way to change that? Go ahead, Imani.
Yeah, I was going to say something, and it is to do with whether people think their life is really bad. Um, Now, my partner's late mother, yeah, it's a man, just for those who might be speculating. Um, she emigrated to Jamaica once she retired. And as many of you know, there have been hurricanes and storms. And I can't remember which year it was, but as you know, it's recently gone through another storm. But the year that this storm happened, and every time it happens, you have to go there, you have to kind of rebuild and refix the whole house, because, the house loses its roof. And his mother, who was at that time, she was in her 80s. When the storm happened, and the gale force winds blew, she got pinned behind her refrigerator. Yeah, this is an 80-year-old woman, got pinned behind the refrigerator for 3 days. And when I found out, because she was talking about how it had happened, and basically it blew loads of stuff in the house, and she was pinned behind the refrigerator for 3 days. No one could move. Everybody was, trying to protect themselves. And I said to her, weren't you scared? She said, I just said, if it's my time, it's my time. But if God doesn't want me to go, I'm going to be fine. And then she said to me, the one thing I had whilst I was pinned behind the refrigerator was food. And she laughed.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at that. I was having a conversation the other day and I was going to do a content, and I think I may still do it, about, optimism versus pessimistic mindset, right? And that is like a perfect example and display of that. Like when you're in a predicament that, most people may say, like, oh my God, this is terrible. you're thinking the worst, right? Um, and again, and I don't like to get, too preachy on it, but if you sometimes have like that core rooted like faith and tethering to like, God or whatever respectfully your spiritual or religious belief may be, which is all respected here because we all have different ones, but at the core it's the same. It's like your mind can go to that restful place even in the midst of like trauma, tragedy, and anything like that. You have like an extra crutch to help you navigate through that situation and not panic and not give up hope. And then the fact that you said she was able to find like the light in the midst of the darkness. Like, well, we are pinned behind this refrigerator, but guess what? We got food to eat. You know what I'm saying? That's finding like the light in the midst of the darkness and also keeping the faith that and just surrendering to say, if it's my time to go, I'm okay with that. But if it's not my time, then this too shall pass. I'll be able to get through it. And I think, for some people, we do have that type of mindset and navigate through, traumas and hardships and times and stuff that same way. And there's some people that maybe they don't, and it just, some people don't understand like how you can literally smile in the most darkest of times, how you can laugh and have joy still in the most darkest of times. And you can be down and out and lost it all, but you still are alive. Like you're still here. So that means you still have a chance. You know what I'm saying? To start all over again. And it's like, yeah, you lost what you had, but you have so many more opportunities to gain something else or something more. And so that's like looking at that glass half full, half empty type, mindset. And so I think that's something you really have to like practice, and fully like believe and also have success stories to continue to be able to operate that way. When you've been through some things and you didn't know how you was going to get through it and you came out on the other side and you was like, ooh, I didn't think I was going to make it through that one. And you do, then it kind of like allows you to believe that that is possible. If it happened one time, it'll probably happen again, and that's where your real true faith like comes into fruition. But yeah, you got any more thoughts, Imani, before we play a little bit more of this conversation? You can unmute, girl, if that's what it is. Unless I don't know if it's a tech thing. You might have to reset. Child, this StreamYard has just been just giving us work today, hasn't it? Jesus. But let's take a look here at the comments real quick before we play a little more. Daisy says, keep the faith in the hard times. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know it's easier said than done. I know that. Mom Star says, yes, count the blessings and know we are not in control as much as we can make plans. That part right there. That part right there. And Daisy says, Mom Star, you mentioning the DJs reminds me of Kim Porter. I hope if there was anything bad, she gets justice. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. But Imani's coming back up, y'all. So while we waiting for her to come back up, we're gonna go ahead and play a little bit more of the video. I'm gonna try to do it slowly because I don't want to miss anything that's being said while she's on her way back up. Mom Star says, Daisy Lee, yes. With that situation? God's angels surrounding us. Absolutely. Okay, Imani is back. All right, girl. So yeah, so you see what I'm saying? Like, that was excellent for you to point out. Because I just feel for me and for many others such as Mom Star and Daisy, even here in the chat, it's like we understand it. That couldn't be further from the truth. Like I feel like so many of us out here like just made it through so many things and came out on the other side. And it just gives you that level of like faith and understanding and seeing like the positivity, looking at the glass half full instead of empty. But go ahead, girl.
No, and what I would say is that think about that every year they face that kind of, you know, that can happen every single year. A storm may hit the island or it may not. And they have to think about rebuilding. Imagine having to rebuild the whole roof of your house. every year because a storm
Right.
could pass through, and that,
Right.
they don't have the type of government assistance. I mean, the recent one, people didn't have water for almost 10 days. They didn't have fresh water. They didn't have electricity for about a week. And then you go there and they just shrug their shoulders and just keep it pushing. They're just
Right.
like, yeah, it happens.
Yeah. Life be lifing,
Yeah.
and things will happen to us, and we'll go through ups and downs and like within this situation you're talking about in areas and places like that have no control over that. It's like it's nothing that they did, it's nothing that they chose, it's just what happens. And it's like, okay, we're gonna have to navigate through this the best way we can, and we're gonna keep a positive mindset about it. And then yeah, the stress of having to look forward to that. Like it's just like kids that looking forward to Christmas and gifts under the tree. You're looking forward to the fact that it may be a storm that's going to tear everything apart. We have to rebuild, or it may not be. Um, and that's something that you have to plan mentally for ahead of time or whatnot. And when it comes, the more that you go through it and you experience it, the better you are in dealing with it. You know what I mean? You become stronger. And that's why I do like that phrase, like pressure makes diamonds. Like coal mines and stuff, you take a piece of coal and you put that coal through the ultimate amount of pressure, and when it comes out on the other side, it's a diamond. So I think that's just really we can think about life and things that we go through in that way. Like a lot of the things that we go through, they make us stronger, they make us wiser, they make us better equipped, and they put us more so in a place of, I would say, being planted and understanding that yeah, the storm is here, but this storm shall pass. So yeah, I think it's deep. But see, I told you, girl, I told you these interviews and these conversations be deep. But I love listening to interviews and conversations like this and listen closely and pull from it, like the wisdom and the knowledge and the resemblance of what they're speaking about and some things that maybe we may be experiencing and going through in our own lives.
Yeah, it makes you reset and rethink what you value in your life. Like I said, you think about people waking up in the morning and they have no house. They have no house and they have no means to build it. They have no water. And you go there and literally, I mean, I'm thinking how I would feel, because this is not my home. This is somewhere where I come to and I spend time. But they just sit there and casually say, it's life. What will be, will be. And then you have a person like Diddy who has every opportunity in front of him and say, I've never been happy. Mm, this is where I have no sympathy, because you have a lot more than a lot of people have on a daily basis, and you should be making the best of it. That's why I don't have sympathy sometimes in some places and spaces. And that's why I don't have time for some of this BS that goes on this platform, where people think that what they're talking about is major when people are suffering on a daily. I think some people need to be planted in a place where people have to walk for miles for fresh water, where people don't eat meat for about 6 months because they can't afford it. Then talk about being happy, you know?
Right. And you just made me remember one of the other things I wanted to talk about as far as this segment right here. Um, it made me think about how sometimes that we are not appreciative of relationships. A lot of people are very much appreciative and they worship and they're happy when it comes to things such as like material things and whatnot, houses, cars, money, clothes, things of that nature. But they'll be willing to throw away a good relationship or a decent relationship, whether it's romantic, platonic, whatever, and then you may find yourself in predicaments where you say, I don't know if I really know true happiness. I think it's because, you know, you can find true happiness in the engagement and the connectivity with people, with other human beings. Um, and I think a lot of people, they don't necessarily, and there's all different reasons as to why, you know, that's a whole deeper conversation for a different day. But there's a lot of people that just don't genuinely value like relationship, like connectivity with other human individuals. Um, and when you have that, you know, that also is like a big factor in how you can have, you know, more of a happier experience and a happier life. Like it was made for us, and I believe created for us to engage and connect with one another, you know, as human beings. And there's some people, like I've met people before in my life that like they like, oh no, I don't do friends like that. I don't have friends. I'm like, you don't have friends? They're like, nah. And then they also be like, they don't even rock with their family like that. Like they're very much detached from human, you know, engagement and encounters. And not, I think that, you know, that's not healthy. Um, but you know, hey, it is what it is. But that was one of the things that I heard too. So y'all want to go ahead and play a little bit more of this, y'all, and then we move on to the next one, which we'll be hearing some more lovely, deep, educational pieces of conversation from Tabitha Brown. Y'all know I love me some Tabitha Brown, y'all. And if you didn't know, now you know.
Yeah, let's play a little bit more and then we'll move on to Tabitha. But these are great interviews, Golden. I will tell you, guys, I got to tell you, I just get told what I'm going to speak about. This girl finds
Girl,
these interviews. No, this girl, no, because I don't think people appreciate the amount of stuff you do and the interviews that you research and look at. People just think that it's a fly by night and there's no thought that goes into this. Golden will find the most innocuous interview that is about somebody that we all know that has so much learning and teaching in it. So I gotta, raise my, I gotta, salute you, my girl, because people think that you just get up there and you wax lyrical. No, there's a lot of thought that goes into this. Me, i'm
yeah,
just
appreciate that.
i'm just a
Yeah.
sidekick.
No, you not. Nah, no, no, no. We both put our own efforts into this partnership and, you know, being co-hosts with one another because we each have our strengths, you know, what we're good at. And so we equally pour into, you know, the partnership. And I think that's what makes it beautiful and that's what makes it rock and it works well.
But we do have these conversations outside of the platform, and I think that's what makes it work. So
Right. And then the
so
conversations and the topics and things like that is already things that are like, you know, important to us. You know what I mean? That like resonate with us. So we're gonna talk about this type of stuff anyway. And then it's just like, you know, I love interviews. So I listen to all types of interviews. And when I catch one and I'm like, oh my God, you know, that really resonates with what we was just talking about 2 days ago. And like it's just all of these, you know, strong talking points. And one of the things that I like about it is that sometimes you can get a message, and this is the thing that you can get a message for somebody that you would not even likely think you would get one from. Because I remember on the part one that I did, um, I know Star was here too, and she was like, "Ugh, this guy," and I was like, "Yeah, child, he ain't my favorite either." Because you know, Charlamagne has been, you know, known to be kind of problematic sometimes. And so I was like, nobody would think that they would receive a word, you know what I'm saying, from like a Charlemagne because they might not meet him on this level, you know what I mean, or meet him in this space. They see him like when he's, you know, the radio jock, you know, up there, you know, putting on and putting on a performance and putting on a character or whatnot to entertain the people and to do his job. But when these people go home and they clock out, we don't really know who they are at the core. And we know, yeah, when it comes to public figures and stuff, we hear sometimes things, you know, and speculations of what people have done and what type of person they are, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's all of what that person can be. Do we all make mistakes? Do we all make poor choices? Yeah. But can we all sometimes have a light that shines as well? Yeah. And
But
sometimes a
yeah,
message can be sent through anybody. You know what I'm saying? It's not to say he's a bad person, but I'm just saying a message that that can really help and aid and assist the people. It can be sent by anybody, and that we learned that from the Bible. You know what I mean? So, but
yeah, and
again,
that's true. That's true about this is where I come in because I've got a boyfriend who's been in media for the longest time, and has worked with quite a lot of people. So I know Charlamagne from different aspects. So even though a lot of people don't like him, he's had a lot of experience and he's been around a long time. And sometimes, even though you have a bias, it's even when I was talking to you about Joe Budden, a lot of people don't like Joe Budden, but Joe Budden knows a lot of people, and sometimes you'll get a lot. If you want to know about new music that's coming out, you should listen to Joe Budden, the full show. That's why I was me and Golden talk about that. I say, yeah, there are things about some of these people that you don't like, but you got to realize these people have had long careers and a lot of experience. So that's the bit of the yin and the yang that we have going on.
Absolutely, girl. Absolutely. It takes work.
Right.
It takes hard work. Child, we be over here working. Okay, we be working over here. But anyway,
Yeah.
let's play a little bit more. And then after we play just a bit more of this, we'll do a little bit more commentary. We'll do a song break, and then we'll get into the Tabitha Brown portion. And we're gonna try to speed it up, y'all, because we ain't trying to hold y'all too long. We know y'all here for a good time, not a long time. And we appreciate everybody who comes to spend time with us, engage with us in the chat. And even if you're just laying back in the cut and just listening, your presence is felt, and we appreciate that as well. And we just hope that we're just providing good content and good, times for you. So thank you all so much for joining. Let's get back into it, y'all. We'll meet you in the chat.
You asked me.
I think we'd be doing him a disservice. And the reason I say that is because he just still seemed like he's on the bullshit. And I look at it like it's a few things that make me feel that way. When the Cassie accusations first came out, he denied them. And then the tape came out. So you can't deny that. Mm-hmm. And then when you look at the documentary, mm-hmm. you see him still even trying to manipulate, the media and people up until he's even about to be in jail. And, I don't know if it's true that he sent 50 those flowers. But if you did that, it's like, you still thinking about all the wrong things. And even watching the documentary, like, he really cares about being Puff. Like, being that character, Puff, like having those trappings, even more so than, accountability for what he did or, going to jail. I care about my image. And I think that if he comes out and he's still on that, we'd be doing a disservice by putting cameras all back in his face.
That's so funny you say that, because that I do operate in that way too. Like I think, because I'm always looking like I'm looking for the truth in somebody, even if the truth is ugly, even if the truth is uncomfortable. I want to just get to know you and know why your truth is like that. Mm-hmm. But if I don't feel like somebody can do that, then why are we doing this?
I agree 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Then why? And that doesn't mean I won't talk to bad people or people who've been through bad things or people who sometimes are trying to still figure it out. I will, because I think there's learning in all of that. I think we can learn lessons from, it's funny, I should share this, but I just got a request for Russell Simmons to do the pod.
I think you should do that one.
You do?
Yes, because I always say Russell has a very interesting story. And if Russell is ever allowed to really talk freely, right? Like the way he talks behind the scenes, I think it would bring a lot of clarity to that lifestyle they was living, what you said earlier about them being so young and having all that money and that power and, that access to things. Like, I think that could be a very teachable moment. And Russell is a person who's really willing to teach. Like, Russell can tell you where he was wrong at, and Russell can tell you where.
If that was the case, then that's absolutely something I want to do. But that is the questioning that I ask myself when I get that message is like, will he be honest? Is there something to learn here? Is there accountability here? Because I don't want to sit across from somebody and I feel like you should be taking some accountability and they don't. That could be weird. And also I feel like I would have to be sensitive to other people's stories. You know, it's a sensitive conversation, which I'd be willing to have if I felt like ultimately the world is a better place for the conversation. I guess that's the bottom line, right?
I've always said that it needs to be a woman who interviews somebody like Russell Simmons, and you'd be perfect because that was, part of your era as well.
Sure.
And then just the fact that when you hear his story, like if he ever told like the story, like just I'm talking about everything from that whole era. It's very teachable moments that would be coming from him and not through somebody making a documentary about it, right? Because like I said, Diddy Doc was a teachable moment as well. But you don't know what's salacious and what's not. But his story
from his mouth,
I think a lot of people could learn.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards yes on that for that reason, for those reasons alone. But it's complicated. The world we're in is complicated right now. Sometimes you have the best intentions and you could have a great conversation that is very meaningful to a group of people, and then it takes the legs of it. A life of its own once you serve it up on a platter to the cesspool. That is,
but here's the thing,
you know what I mean? But you can't really operate out of fear. You kind of got to go. But
I grew up in an era where Donahue had the Grand Wizard of the KKK on.
Yeah.
Like people were going to the jail to interview Charles Manson, Jeffrey Dahmer, 8 people.
Yeah.
And people were interviewing him.
Would you interview Jeffrey Dahmer? Yes.
I mean, probably.
Yeah.
I probably would. Gayle King had all.
All right. So I think, y'all, that is a nice stopping point. So we're going to go ahead and stop it right there, child, before we get to the Jeffrey Dahmer, the whole situation. But, yeah. So we're going to go ahead and just do a little bit of more commentary on this little last portion and segment or whatnot. And then we'll take a song break, and we got to kick it into Tabitha Brown because she has some really, really excellent commentary and things that she brings to the forefront as well. But Imani, I'll let you take the lead on this one, on this segment, girl, and I'll follow in your lead. What do you think about some of the things that they said here?
Yeah, I mean, she questions whether she should interview some of these controversial figures like Russell Simmons. And Charlamagne is right. Journalism should include interviewing controversial figures, but some of these figures are not going to come forward with truth. So I don't see the value of speaking to a Russell Simmons because he's not telling you the truth. And, I would rather she released her unreleased Tupac interview. I'd be more interested in that than talking about a Russell Simmons who's all the way in Bali, doing yoga and denying anything ever went on. She did say he's encouraged her to finally release the Tupac interview, and there's a lot of talk about ethics and journalism. I'm not interested in hearing it from Russell Simmons, to be honest with you. I don't care what he's got to say, because we all know there's more to that than meets the eye. But I think Charlamagne is definitely more mature, and the thing about Charlamagne, I think that this interview and others show there are different sides to him. There's the I can't remember what it is, Brilliant Idiots, that I hate that he used to do with that guy. There's the Breakfast Show Charlamagne, and there's the Charlamagne that is very reflective, talks about his therapy, talks about his mistakes and other stuff. And he is eclectic. So that's why I like to watch Angie interview people, because she makes them relaxed and to be themselves. And he also talks about becoming a better listener, which for some of us, all of us, I actually think is a good thing, because people do reveal more when they feel safe rather than judged. And she does a good job with that. I love her interviews. I really, really do love her interviews. I think he's right about the Diddy, that he's still on the bullshit, and I don't think he really is reflective about what he's done and the impact he's had on people's lives. Um, but who knows? A little bit of time behind bars may have changed him. I don't know. Sorry. Yeah,
Oh,
I
my
think.
God. Sorry.
Are you back? You back?
Yeah,
I
I
thought
thought
I
the
was
mic
going to
was
have to sing a song.
on. No, I thought the mic was on, but the mic was off. But yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. I love Angie, and now I get exactly what Charlamagne was saying. Like, she's the sun. Like, she can get people to strip down, those layers and take them off, and show the other, well, the other sides of themselves, but like deeper. Like an onion. An onion has many layers, and sometimes you have to peel back those layers. And I think what it comes to when there's some people that we see, and we have to remember that a lot of times we just see them, in the media space, on a TV, hear them on the radio, but not realize that this is a person just like anybody else who has multiple layers. And sometimes it just takes them being around and speaking with the right person to peel some of those layers back and see who they really are at the core. And a lot of times, in life, due to the things that we've been through and how we carry ourselves or try to protect ourselves, we put up those walls and we allow those layers to thicken and, remain there. But with the right person that you can trust and that really fully sees you, hears you, and understands you, then sometimes those layers start to peel back and you can see, a little bit more of that softness in the middle and at the core, of who someone really is. And we have to give one another, I think, we can master that skill as well as Angie has. If we engage with one another like that, I just feel as though that is very helpful, because you're not just looking at the person on the surface level. You're having a personality and a patience and an ear, and time to really get to know that person and allow those layers to peel back. And once they do, you'll see that maybe they're just not, what you assume them to be from just seeing the surface level version of them. You get a deeper understanding of who they are as a person. I think we all at the core are, and have our deeper levels, but we don't open those up if it's someone we don't trust and we don't feel as though we trust our story. Um, and our experiences. So yeah, I thought that was a dope interview. It's not done, Maybe we'll do a part 3 and complete it all out. But again, if y'all don't want to do that, you can always just check it out on your own, on Angie Martinez platform or whatnot. So shout out to Angie Martinez and the IRL podcast. Is available on YouTube and other streaming networks as well. So y'all can check out all of her interviews or whatnot at your own given time if you want to. But she's really dope. Y'all really should. And she has conversations with like everybody. Your favorite person, she's probably had a conversation with. But that's all I got, to speak on for this final segment. Do you have anything more, Imani? Before we play the song?
No, just to let you know, I've put the link for Angie Martinez in the chat. You should go over and see it. And yeah, definitely, Mum Star. We'll definitely be doing a bit more on, slightly off topic, sorry, Golden, on racism and xenophobia, because I think people are really confused about this crap and they don't really understand it. And a lot of it is not their lived experience. So yeah, we're definitely going to be doing more on that.
Funny thing about it is, I had an excellent live that I was, doing, covering not just xenophobia, but all of the heavy, hard hitting topics that, seem to be a issue right now within our world and our society. And I thought it was excellent, but, I don't know. I don't know if YouTube didn't think so or somebody else didn't think so, but yeah, I will find a way to pivot and, present that content maybe in a different way. But it's definitely something that needs to be done, and we need to be able to have an open conversation about. So we'll figure out how to navigate through that. And yeah, Mom Star, we're definitely going to do that. It's a very important conversation to have. And so we'll get it back right.
Yeah, because just to pivot, just to go on the back of what Golden's saying. I think a lot of people focus on the minutiae, the small things, and not the big things that are problematic with this, this whole topic. People focus on very, very small, innocuous things, and bigger things get missed in the process. And we will. Oh, don't you worry, Mum Star. We will cover it, whether people like it or they don't like it. You should know that about us. Well, you do know because you've been over here. And thank you for your support. And definitely, that is something we will be coming back to. We doing a song, Golden, and then going to the next topic?
Yes, absolutely. Yep. And I love you said that, Moms Are, whether you like it or you don't like it. Absolutely. Because it's important. And it's what we need to talk about to, bridge gaps, gain a better understanding, and make our encounters with one another, better, more loving, more understanding. And so, yeah, we absolutely gonna do it. But yeah, let's take this quick song break, y'all, and we will be right back. See y'all in just a bit. Thank you so much for rocking with us. We really appreciate it. We will be right back.
Feeling like got people forgetting folks are human. That part. Every laugh ain't harmless. Every post ain't just jokes. Some people smiling online, crying in real life. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Why you tearing people down for fun? Why? You don't know what they carry when the camera done. Broken souls throw stones, then hide they hands. Cowards in comment sections playing God again. Karma don't miss. And healing still possible too. So either spread love or watch life humble you. Yeah. YouTube streets messy, everybody got a target. Creators throwing dirt like hate became a market. Mocking people daily, that spirit look haunted. Tell me who raised y'all, this behavior garbage. Laughing at depression, exposing folks' trauma. Then next shock when tragedy follow behind you. The evil energy, boomerang proper. Come on, pull up silent like a midnight robber. And honestly, do you watch my live? I talk truth, pain, growth, tears, real vibes. Not everybody built for the games online. Some folks want insult from losing their mind. That's fake, no cap. Y'all addicted to humiliation. Every live stream feel like public execution. Views over souls, cloud over humans. Then wonder why the whole world mentally ruined. Somebody mama crying at night. Somebody daughter hurt inside. Somebody praying not to give up while bullets screenshot painful life. Shame on you, shame. You need healing too. Only damaged people wake up daily, trying to damage others too. Enough is enough. Why you tearing people down for fun? Tearing them down. You don't know what they fighting when the live stream done. Let me go. Keyboard killers acting tough online. Whole time spiritually broken inside. Karma don't miss, no. Karma don't skip souls either. Every hateful seed gon' meet the reaper. So to the hurt and bully people, listen close. You matter more than these demons online. These chicks bitter, these dudes weird. Obsessed every day, like why you still here? Refreshing my page while pretending you don't care. Whole personality built off hate and fear. Talk slick online, real life timid. Broken inside, everybody can't feel it. Projecting they wounds while the comments all cheering. That ain't straight, baby, that sickness concealed. And I said what I said. Yeah, some of these creators need therapy bad. Not another live stream drag. Not another fake outrage cash grab scam. Y'all bully for a living. That's sad. Spirit look bankrupt, dusty and mad. And the people encouraging it just is trash. Laugh now. karma got a long memory past. Lord, cover the wounded, cover the lonely heart, cover the lonely heart, cover the people crying silently in dark rooms. Teach us compassion again. Teach this world mercy again. Because words cut deep. So deep. And some people never recover. To everybody bullied online, you are not weak because you hurt. You are not crazy because you feel pain. And don't let these empty souls convince you your life got no value. The loudest bullies usually fighting demons they never healed from. That ain't an excuse, but it's the truth. And to the bullies, get help, seriously. This obsession with tearing strangers apart every day, that ain't normal. Enough is enough. We need love more than ever now. More than ever. Too many souls out here barely hanging on somehow. No more glorifying painful views. No more clowning her forever new. No more mob attacks for entertainment. That darkness got consequences too. Karma don't miss. Karma don't miss. And healing still possible too. So either spread love or watch life humble you. Enough is enough. Spread love before it's too late. Yeah, before it's too late.
All right, y'all. So thanks for rocking with us with that quick little song break. I hope y'all enjoyed the song and thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. And Moonlight, thank you for joining. I know you said you're going back to the bushes now, and that's cool, cool, cool. But thank you so much for coming in to say hello and watching the content. You know, we got Mom Stars here. Thank you so much. Daisy is here. Thank you so much. Mama War is in the background. And you know, me and Imani are co-hosting. And again, anybody else who may be listening and just, you know, relaxing in the cut, we appreciate your engagement as well. And we can feel your presence here. We're going to go ahead and get into the second interview with, yet again, Angie Martinez, because she just does such lovely interviews. But she's going to be interviewing now and having a great conversation with Tabitha Brown. Again, this is the part 2. So there has been a lot that was talked about on the part 1, and we're picking up from where we left off. But Tabitha Brown, you know, is speaking a lot on, you know, her faith, turning points and saying yes to yourself, breaking down exact moments. You know, her faith was actually tested during some physical and medical struggles that she had, her decision to trust God over corporate expectations, and how she stays grounded in her marriage and identity when finally success hit. And so, you know, sometimes there can be something to, you know, navigate through or whatnot. But before we go ahead and hit play, Imani, did you have a few things you wanted to say, or you want to just jump right into it?
We can jump right into it, but I thought I'd better announce, yeah, I am Imani, for those who don't know who I am, even though I've had email exchanges with them. Yeah, it's me, Imani. Just thought I needed to announce that.
I would assume everybody know who Imani is, but you know, thank you for that introduction, girl. But there'll be more and more introductions to come because, y'all, we're going to be kicking it and bringing some great content and conversation to you if you desire to join us. But yeah, Imani is excellent. She really is. She's really a sweet person. I've really gotten to know her very well. And I was, you know, I would suggest people get to know her because, yeah, as much as she rock for her people and she will defend, just as myself, and we may have to get about it sometimes, but at the core, lovely person, beautiful heart, beautiful spirit, very wise, very, you know, just opening and wanting to see the same things that I want to see: change, unity, love, and light. And so, we just working towards that one live at a time together. But yeah, y'all, let's go ahead and hop into this video, and we'll meet y'all in the chat.
Funny, one of my girlfriends we were talking to another friend who just had a baby, and she was complaining her man wasn't doing this, and he wasn't changing the diaper, and he wasn't. And my other friend was like, he's not going to do it the way you want to do it anyway.
Yeah.
So just do it yourself. Don't complain.
Or
I'm like,
let him have his moment.
I don't know if that's healthy, but I totally get it.
Yeah. Or we like be okay with not being in control all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Maybe take you a nap and let them go ahead. Let them tear it up if they tear it up.
Either do it yourself or be okay with it not
or be
being
okay
done
with it not being done the way you want it.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
That is really good advice. Yeah. Well, first of all, on another note, I am so happy for you to see, because now that we've watched this career of yours blossom and where it started and what you've been through, and to now know you're like in this movie.
I'm so excited.
And doing this movie, it's like you've really worked for this moment.
Yes.
Right? Like you really have.
This was my childhood dream to, be in a movie, be in a big screen, like all the things. I've been acting for a really long time and people did not know me from acting.
No.
So I'm so grateful. Like Unexpected Christmas is a film that not only is great for the entire family, but for relationships like mothers and daughters.
It's family.
Yeah, it's so good. It's conversations. There's some drama in there, but it's healthy drama, right? But it's comedy. It just feels good. It's one of those ones. It's like for the culture. We will watch this for years to come.
Oh, I love that for you.
I'm excited. And I get to cut up in there, honey.
You do?
Debbie cuts up. I wear a little red wig on Donna, honey. I cut up.
Come on now. I feel like this is going to be like every year you'll do one of these. I
hope
or something.
So. Yes. Come on and speak it.
Yeah, I feel like this could be like a reoccurring, like a series of these could happen. And because it's so, sometimes things just make sense.
Exactly.
This just makes sense.
Right. See, you just said it. That's confirmation.
Yeah, I love that for you. You deserve that. This episode is brought to you by Walden University. You guys think you're too busy to earn the degree that you have always wanted?
It says, what's one thing you hope never changes about you? You have to answer it or I have to answer it?
It's you, about you.
Oh, girl, I hope my freedom never changes. I will never sell it again.
You will never sell it again.
Mm-mm.
And it was in that moment that you found your freedom. But it took
a long time. It took the steps to it.
Yeah.
The thing about it is you can still get triggered by your old habits, right? That's like healing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we're ever like completely like healed. You're always healing because you can be triggered by something. But the great thing is like, oh, wait a minute, let me check it. Right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
So just take me back to the freedom for a second. What does that feel like? And what does that mean for you to be in the moment of it? Like, what does it mean to be free?
Oh, it means, honey, I can walk in any room. Maybe you see Donna, normally I have my big afro out.
Yeah. This is pretty, that's it.
Thank you. I don't code switch. I don't conform. I never walk into any space with the intention to make other people feel comfortable. I walk in making sure I feel well, that I can show up exactly who I am and feel so good about it. And just like make my own choices, right? Choose joy every day and just continue to just show up as who I am. It feels heavenly. It's a very good feeling, girl.
How does it affect you when somebody doesn't respond well to that now in this new free version of yourself? Because the old you would want to people please them probably.
Absolutely.
And so what happens now if you walk into a room and you come in with this bright, beautiful energy and somebody doesn't give you that back, or somebody responds poorly or receives you? And like, how do you respond to that now?
Well, I still give them love and grace, right? Because their response is not to me. Their response is that I become a mirror. And so when people are not in their own freedom walk, my freedom makes them uncomfortable, right? So, baby, what I'm gonna do? Okay, well, honey, I wish the best for you, right? So it's not about me. It's like that's your stuff that you're dealing with. I'm gonna still give you love and peace and all the things, but I just don't, you don't
feel the need to, yeah.
But listen, I also still have the ability to shift, right? So I've had moments where people are a little, a little cold. I still give them tab. And by the end of whatever we doing, they're like,
you win.
You know what? I was having a terrible day. Because somebody always going through something that you don't know nothing about. So you don't ever personalize it. Don't ever make it about you, right? I don't ever go into anything making it about me. I just show up, and if it's a little cold or off-putting, I'm like, you know what, they might be having a little something. Now, if you just flat out being rude, I ain't gonna take that. I also know how to remove myself from a situation. People sometimes think when you extend grace that you're okay with being disrespected.
Yeah,
that ain't what I'm saying.
Yeah, and you go,
oh, okay.
Whoa, we got to pause it right there. Like I said, child, these conversations and these interviews be just so relevant, child, relevant. But, I love me some Tabitha Brown. Oh, she is just, she just do something for my spirit. Like, I just be sitting there getting chills when I listen to her. I love her personality. I love her energy. I love her. And she just said right there, just because I extend grace don't mean let's run that back, y'all. Let's run that back. I am so sorry. I gotta run that back real quick in Tabitha style. Hold on, y'all. I got you.
No, I ain't gonna take that. Don't ever make it about you, right? I don't ever go into anything making it about me. I just show up, and if it's a little cold or off-putting, I'm like, you know what, they might be having a little something. Now, if you just flat out being rude, I ain't gonna take that. I also know how to remove myself from a situation. People sometimes think when you extend grace that you're okay with being disrespected.
Yeah,
that ain't what I'm saying.
She said people often think that because you extend grace don't mean that you're going to tolerate being disrespected. What a word. I love the fact that she said that, because I feel as though we seeing a lot of that, in all aspects of life, right? Like, you go to the, fast food restaurant, if you go to the corner store, if you're at your job, around your coworkers, if you're somewhere here on YouTube or a platform or something like that, and you see, and you could be also a person that extends a lot of grace. You try to give a lot of understanding. You may give people passes. You let things slide because you do give grace. But because you do that, it does not mean that, you're weak in some type of way, you're soft in some type of way, or you're going to tolerate and stand for disrespect and, people being rude, and because you're like that, and you're going to see her, she's going to talk a little bit more about it, because you're like that, I don't want people to ever get it twisted that when you might need to, check someone, and handle the situation accordingly of, extreme disrespect and things like that, that there is something that's now, contradictory about your character. No, because we are very much human, and we are, a monolith. We're all things. And so just because you're choosing to put your best foot forward, and most of the ways that you carry yourself, and most, days that you walk around and you navigate this world and you navigate around individuals, it doesn't mean that, if people are being extremely disrespectful and just totally stepping out of line with you, that you cannot defend yourself, you cannot correct the situation. Now, I might need to be doing some more work as far as getting a little bit better on how I may, bark back. But every now and then you may have to bark back. But what do you think about this statement just right here, Imani? And then we'll keep going.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it goes with another statement that people take your kindness for weakness, and they think because you are extending grace that that gives them the right to step all over you and not respect your boundaries. It really is key in a lot of places and spaces, not only on social media. People think because you don't respond in a certain way that that's okay for them to disrespect you. It's not. And this is one thing I think that growth and maturity gives you. I don't respond the same way I used to respond. you know, Sometimes I picture myself doing other things when I get disrespect. I have a vision that I'm in the supermarket and I'm in aisle 3 and I'm throwing a can at someone, and then I just say, "Hey, not today." But I've already envisioned what I would have done if I weren't the person that I am today. Because I tell you, people they do try you, they do test you, and they think because you don't respond and that you don't and all this, come out with all this shit, that you are, weak, or you're scared, or you're this. No, you're not. You just chose that's not the fight I want today. It's not what I'm about. And that's what I think that people, they don't know sometimes who they're talking to, what that person has been through. I found this when I worked with a lot of young people, because they were reactive. And I used to tell people, you need to be mindful of who you're talking to. Because I used to have a lot of young people that were born in the UK, and some people that had come from war torn, young people that had come from war torn countries who were child soldiers. And I used to say to the young people in the UK, let's be clear, these children have held pow pows from the age of 5. So you saying something to them that's disrespectful, they're going to have a completely different reaction from you, and it could end very badly. So don't assume because someone does not answer you that they haven't got to respond. And they're just choices we make. They're just choices we make
Yeah.
never underestimate your opponent. Never underestimate who you're talking to. Never underestimate what people have been through. I have different reactions on different days. There may be days when I may walk past someone, who is rude to me. And there may be days when I will say, no, not today. I'm sorry.
Just looking look, I got time today. I'm crossing the
Mm,
line today, like that. That type of energy.
yeah, I have a different energy. I have a different energy. I have the energy where I'm in my lounge pants and my bonnet on, and I'm getting in the car and I'm going.
She said the bonnet on, and I'm going.
I'm gone. I'm in a bonnet, lounge pants, slippers, you name it, and I'm gone. But then I may have an energy when I go, I'm not going to bother with that. So,
Yeah.
she also talks about not shrinking herself to make other people comfortable. You know,
Mm,
you know,
good. Yeah.
don't shrink yourself. Don't make yourself smaller to accept someone else's disrespect. And I believe in that, and healthy boundaries. And she was also talking about her childhood dream coming true about being an actress. She's really, really focusing on confidence, boundaries, living freely, and arguing that true freedom really does come from not needing anybody else's external approval. But it also means treating others as you'd like to be treated, with kindness and respect. And I really, really can say for myself, I only react to other people's reactions of disrespect, because I
Right.
never go out there to intentionally disrespect people. But if people disrespect me, I may have a response that they may not like. And sometimes mine is 100. I
That
can't
part.
help it.
That part. And
Can't help
like
it.
I would say when it comes to that is, being able to identify when someone is on a journey, right, to perfecting or getting better, at stabilizing, their emotions and their energy, and, being able to be someone that does give that grace and that calmness or whatnot. And one of the things that I had noticed that really, it really stands out to me is that, and y'all will probably see this, right? Because y'all see me around and stuff like that. If y'all ever hear me talking very calm and very low and, like this, and if y'all ever hear me sometimes just not say anything and get silent, um, you have to understand that this is like I am working on myself, because there are a lot of things that I want to, be better about, as far as, like, let's just say my temper, and how I can be, especially, when I'm upset or I feel as though somebody playing in my face or they're being disrespectful to me or something like that. um, there's ways that I typically have been used to responding before that are not, how I necessarily want to respond to certain things now. I try to be better than what I was. And so when you're in a situation where now you're being tested, right, to see like how strong is that resilience, you know what I mean? How strong is that work that you've done on yourself going to show through and bleed through when it comes to being in, tense situations or situations that will typically have you, like flying off of the edge. And I talk with Imani all the time, and I talk with Mama, and they know me right well. I've gotten to know Imani very well, and she's gotten to know me very well. And of course, my mama know me very well. And that is like at the core how I am. But it does take a lot for me to get to that point, because very much like a bull, because I'm a Taurus. It's like, yo, I just be somewhere grazing in the grass, minding my business, and people come around mess with me. And it's just like, they'll test you and they'll poke you and they'll try you. And it's only so many times that they can do that before you just start charging. And then once you start charging, once you see red, it's like you keep charging until you feel like you want to stop. And that's easy for me to be. And so as I've tried to mature and change, um, I don't want it to be like that. I don't want people to be able to have that level of control over me and my emotions. And I have to work on it. So a lot of times I see like a lot of people will gaslight you into going back to that version of yourself. I don't know if they know or if that's just how they move and they carry themselves, but they take like your work that you're doing actively in, the moment of like getting or feeling like you're going to get to that level and get upset. They play with that, you know what I mean? Or they make that seem like they poke at you, and because it's like they're trying to get a certain type of response out of you, and you're doing self work, so you're like, I don't want to respond in a way that I typically could. So you made me, I'm taking deep breaths, I'm staying silent, I'm talking really low like this and very calm, because in my mind I'm telling myself, stay calm, do not raise your voice, do not, like these practices that you do when you try to, combat those type of energies that you have within yourself, to make it better. People may not understand you're on that journey, or they want to see you crash out. So you can't be sure. Go ahead, Imani.
Yeah, you see, the difference is we are I am a Cancer, but I'm on the cusp of Leo. So I've got a very protective nature. So when people attack, I will pinch them slightly to warn them. And if they don't heed the warning, then I think it's the kind of lion that comes out of me that will just defend either myself, my cubs, or anybody around me. So I've got a very protective nature that gives a warning to say, stop, please stop. Otherwise, I really am going to unleash on you. So I've got that mix of I'm very protective, but I can also be very aggressive if I feel you're not hearing what I'm going to say. So I'm on the
Right.
cusp of Cancer and Leo. So I'm a bit of a crab, protective shell, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a bit of a lion. So, and once the lion is unleashed, I'm sorry for, I don't do it. I pick and choose my battles, definitely. But I will pounce if I have to. And that's my nature. And whereas I know that you are a bull and you will just charge. This is why I tell you that I am, you're the charge. You will just go for it. But I really am, I will say, what's going on? Are you really going to have this fight? So I'll pinch you a little bit. And if you don't feel that pinch, then I will, I really have
You have to
that
sit
mix of
on
my
me.
nature.
My mom
Mhm,
had to sit on me all the time for real in real life. Like you have to sit on
mhm.
me. Like let me sit
Yeah,
on her. Like, if she don't sit still.
seriously. When you go charging, that's why I tell you, I am the sniper, and you are the person who will say, right,
You talking about I'll be walking in here with a grenade.
yeah, she goes in with the grenade. So I'm the one who's the sniper on the roof.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's so cool because it's like when you really get to know people, that's the thing about getting to know people. Like, how they move and they operate. And when you cool and you're friends with people, it's like that you know how to when y'all are together, you know how to deal with each other. But even if you see that they're in something else with someone else, then you even try to like, help or aid and assist in that moment as well to like really, back them back. Cause you can see like when your people's about to like they're going over the edge now. It's about to go too far. Like I already know it's about to be an issue. So it's just like,
Yeah, because
oh
I
my
think you get surprised when I really do ratchet it up because I've had enough. Enough is enough for me. But yeah,
yeah,
I
I
think,
know.
I really, really don't. It doesn't. I don't actually get really upset about a lot of things, and I think it's because of your life experiences, the places I've travelled, the people I've worked with. When I've seen real hardship and suffering, and I'm grateful for the fact that my parents they loved and they cared for me and they did the best for me in whatever circumstances I was in. And I wasn't brought up in the best of circumstances. I don't mean about my parents. I'm talking about we was poor, we was broke like everybody else around us. But I've been to places where people will walk miles for fresh water, where people don't eat fresh meat for months. They eat beans and rice and combinations of that, where children can't go to school because they haven't got money for food for their lunch. So I'm not going to be complaining about BS that goes on this platform because I just think you guys have not seen real children. I have seen the real children with the flies on their noses. I really have seen that. And I really have seen starving
Right.
children, really starving. That is the reason why my mother used to say to me, when I used to say, she used to say you're hungry, never say you're starving, because you are not starving. You are not starving. I will show you starving.
Right,
And
right, right,
this is the
right.
reason why she would never let us leave food on our plate, because she said that you don't know that people would be grateful for that cabbage. Ugh. No, I eat cabbage now. Actually, it was peas for me.
The
She
peas, the
would
peas.
never let us.
It's
I
the
hate them.
peas.
Yeah, yeah. She would tell us that you do not realize that someone would eat that off your plate, even if you spat it out, they would eat it. And that's why, I am very, when you go to restaurants and you see people wasting food and you think you don't realize what you throw away, someone would eat from the trash. Some people would eat that from the trash. And even in first world countries, people are starving. People are really starving and have no food and no money and no bed.
Yeah,
That's why I don't
it's
make a big
like
fuss.
we have to be grateful, because you just never know. There's always gonna possibly be somebody that, they have it a lot worse than you. And you think about that and you see it. Like you said, you traveled and you seen it and you witnessed like, no, people are really out here struggling. Children are out here struggling, people are hungry. They sometimes don't have a roof over their head. They're trying to find somewhere to keep warm and stay safe for the night. And so, considering your problems, if someone's going through that, it makes your problems look minuscule. Not to say it's not an issue and it's something that is affecting you, but in comparison to some of the things that other people are going through, it's like, oh my, it makes you think twice before complaining, and feeling, bad for yourself because someone else is going through something worse. And, remember we had that conversation. I told you about that when I was young and stuff. I worked in the fast food, which I think is something they should really, incorporate in all, restaurants or food establishment. Is, I worked at Burger King when I was 16. And in the area where the Burger King was that I worked, there were unfortunately, a lot of homeless people that were in that local area. And so when I would work the night shift at the end of the night, sometimes we would have a lot of food left over that didn't get sold. And their rules and regulations was that food is supposed to go in the trash. But I always would see it as if, I know that there's all of these people outside that they're homeless and they're hungry, they need something to eat. And the saddest part about it is after we would throw that food in the dumpster, they would go in the dumpster to get the food. And I just thought that that was just so inhumane because I'm like, these people are not animals and they should not have to reach into the dumpster to get a meal if they're hungry. So, and I used to get into trouble and I didn't care. But at the end of the night, if I was working night shift, I would wrap the food up as if they was coming through the drive-through or coming in to pay money for a meal and put it in a bag. I would get a beverage with a straw, and they knew that because I would tell them, I'm like, look, when my manager leave, I'm gonna meet y'all outside. I'm gonna bring y'all the food. And so I would give that to them in the bag with napkins, with condiments, just as if they purchased it, and allow them to have a meal with integrity because I know they was hungry, but just because they hungry, they should not have to dive in the dumpster to get food that this establishment thinks is better off in the dumpster than in the belly of someone who needs a meal. So I never understood that. Like that always bothered me. I'm like, why are we throwing this food away if we know there's people in this neighborhood and community that are hungry and starving? Why not just give it to them? You know what I mean? But it's always, about money and stuff like that. I've never liked that. I learned that at a young age. I was like, yo, money make people just not have no heart sometimes. But yeah, I would do that at 16 years old, wrap up the food at the end of the night and serve it out to, the homeless or people, that was hungry or whatnot, that needed something to eat because they was going to go in that dumpster and dig that food out anyway. And I just don't feel like no human should have to do that. But anyway, y'all, child, that's we getting too deep. But let's go ahead. But real quick before we move on, y'all, it's the freeze frame for me. Like, look at Tabitha's face. Like, she just like, wait a minute now, okay? Like, who you think you're talking to? Her face is giving that. But anyway, let's go ahead and play a little bit more, y'all, and we'll meet y'all in the chat.
man.
Yeah. And you go,
Oh, okay.
listen, though.
Listen.
That is a real thing.
It's a thin line.
It is a thin line.
Right. You ain't got to listen. You ain't got to,
and you have to have boundaries.
yeah. Because Bonita be trying to creep out. That's,
Bonita will come get your ass. I believe that.
Okay.
And they probably deserve it. And they deserve it, I'm sure. In real life, what are you most proud of? Let's talk about your career for 1 second, because I know your connection to God and your family is important. But just in your career, what you've been able to accomplish, like what are you most proud of about that?
It's so much. I mean, I think the thing that makes me most proud in everything that I've done is that I've been able to do it just being Tab, right? That makes me so proud. Like, me and my daddy, we talk about that all the time. He's like, I just be so proud that that's my daughter. That's my daughter from Eden, North Carolina. Like, he says it every week. He'd be like, I tell you, every time I see you do something, I'm like, y'all know she came from right here, and to have made him proud and to be able to keep showing up, in all the things. Also, I mean, I'm so very proud of my children's show, Tab Time. For people to trust me with their children, this show was such a success. That means people have trusted me with allowing their children to watch. That says a lot, and I won an Emmy for my children's show.
I mean, come on.
Trying to do something good in the world. Yeah. I never imagined that show I could even win an Emmy, because I was like, it's a YouTube show. It's a YouTube original, but it's YouTube. I remember the first year I got nominated, I was like, how? Oh, how? For real? Like, my mind was blown, right?
Look at God.
Yeah. But God said, "Who you gonna put limitations on me? I can do anything." I said, "You sure can, Lord."
Where's your Emmy right now? Where you keep it?
Honey, it is sitting in my I have a bar area that you got to walk through to get to the kitchen. So when you come into the house, because whenever people come visit, I want them to see it. Yeah. So they got to walk by and see it. I got my Emmy. It sits up on, like, I got like a little record player thing. And then I have my 4 Image Awards beside it.
Come on, 4 Image Awards.
Yeah, it's like, I'm so proud. I want y'all to see it. I was going to put it in my office. So I was like, but everybody don't go in the office. I'll just leave it right there for people to see. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. I love that you're so proud of yourself, as you should be. We have we have a new feature with Boost Mobile. It's a voice note. Boost Mobile voice note. And so this is usually somebody from our comment section or from our Instagram. Somebody sent you a note today or a question. I'm not really sure what it is. Okay. But let's hear it.
Hi, Tabitha. You're the auntie inside my head. You've changed my life in so many ways. I recently watched your video. Are you living the life you were born to live, or the life you were influenced to live? And I've gone from feeling stuck and waking up miserable every morning before work. But now I still have the same job, but I made a lot of changes that are making me feel happier. But I am going through some discomfort. How do you personally tell the difference between discomfort that is growing pains versus discomfort that's actually your spirit saying this isn't aligned for you?
That's a great question.
Yeah, it is. So she said, I'm still in the job that she don't like, but I made some changes. And she's still uncomfortable. So she's going to be, if she continues to be uncomfortable, even after the changes, it's time to go.
Yeah.
Right. And the other thing that, God will make you so uncomfortable sometimes. And if you choose not to, he'll push you out of there.
Yeah. And she also said you was like her auntie.
Hey, girl.
How do you feel
niece.
How do you feel about auntie? The word auntie. Mary J. Blige does not enjoy people calling her auntie. How? And I understand.
Yeah.
Sometimes depends. I'll be like, how old are you? Call me auntie. But you know what I'm saying? But people do refer and feel that about you. How does that land for you?
I love it.
You do?
It's a term of endearment for me. But in real life, I've been an auntie since I was 10.
Really?
My nephew was born when I was in 5th grade.
You're probably the best auntie.
Listen, I have, and other people's kids, my friends' kids, like, I love it. Yeah. But I'm from the South. Like,
yes.
I'm 46, but my spirit probably 200 years old. I don't even know. Because I have had an old spirit my whole life. That's why people are like, wait, I thought you were like 60 years old, but then I look at you, you don't look 60, but you have
give,
an old
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, I have an old spirit. I know that about myself. And I also been mothering and with my husband for 27 years. My bonus daughter is 30.
Wait, how old were you when you got married?
I was 23.
Wow, that's young.
Yeah,
You were a different
24,
human
23.
being at that
Yeah,
time.
girl, I was still a girl.
The fact that the two of you have made it through all those phases in life is really a blessing and lovely, because that usually when people grow, sometimes they grow in different directions, but you guys have managed to
absolutely
have that experience together.
I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
I love them and I like them.
Oh,
yeah. That's what does it. You know, because we all love by default, like naturally we love, because we all have a heart.
Yeah.
We were designed to do so.
Yeah.
But we were not designed to like.
And you both.
But I like them.
Good for you.
This week I like them a lot.
This week, maybe next week.
Oh, you never know.
He might get on your nerves next week. You never know. What do you think about your legacy? Do you think about that ever? And what do you think that will be?
I am often asked that question. And I hope that my legacy was that, you know, she lived her life freely. But her intention was always to bring love and joy, to make people feel seen and heard, but to always make people feel like they had a friend in me. Yeah.
What are you doing? Do you ever have these moments still? I mean, I guess we all do. Even when you're in as much as clear as your purpose as you are, just a day, bad day, or a day of doubt, or a day where you question, am I who I think I am? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you still have those moments in your life sometimes?
It's not the am I who I think I am. Like, I know who I am.
Yeah.
But I definitely have bad days. Girl, I told you, got hit in the back trying to be in control.
Baby.
But I absolutely have bad days. I have days where I question, like, God, was I supposed to do that? I prayed about it. You told me, but it feels uncomfortable. But he still says, like, I didn't say you could have everything without discomfort. I said, oh, you didn't say that, did you? I said that. I thought, oh, that was Tab saying that this should be comfortable because the Lord gave it to me.
Yeah.
That ain't what he said.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He said weapons would form, but they wouldn't prosper.
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes the weapons might hurt a little bit, but they won't prosper.
This episode is brought to you by Square, your favorite neighborhood spot.
All right, y'all. So for that segment with Tabitha, we're gonna go ahead and end that right there because we do got to get into Gabby, which is Gabrielle Union, y'all. I call her Gabby, but she's not my friend. So I don't know why I give her. But anyway, I call her Gabby, but Gabrielle Union, right? And she also has sat down and talked with again Angie Martinez. So we'll play a little bit more of hers in just a moment, but let's go ahead and give some quick commentary on this last segment we heard here, and then we'll take a song break and get into Gabby. One of the things that really stood out to me that she talked about, because like, I don't know, I'm just really in my relationship era, girl. Like I am, y'all. And so one of the things that she was saying about, you know, her husband, and I watched her content on YouTube, which they do have their own YouTube channel and platform. It's family based, very beautiful. They do such, you know, great things over there and different things with, you know, each person in her family. Like she'll do a segment with her daughters and her kids. She does a segment with her husband, and they have some really great conversations when it comes to relationships. And so I've enjoyed watching that, and, you know, just their, you know, dynamic. And one of the things she said is, I love my husband, but I also like him. And I think that, you know, when it comes to relationships, that is something that's very important. And she said the reason for that is just, you know, God created us to love. Like we're supposed to love one another. But, you know, liking somebody, that's a, you know, an action, or that's a feeling that, you know, you get to decide based off of, you know, who you encounter and how that person is and, you know, how y'all rock. Do you really like that person? Love is going to be there regardless, because we love one another, or we're supposed to, and we're instructed to love one another as God loves us. And so love can be given to anybody. And I know a lot of people sometimes find that weird, right? Like that you can say to somebody like, I love you. And they'll say like, that's weird. Like we're not in a relationship, or, you know, I ain't that cool with you like that. Like, what you mean you love me? I love you as God loves you, because God instructs us to love one another as He loves us. So, love at the foundation, in the core, we can give to any and everybody we so choose. But do we like each other? Like, do you really like your friend? Do you really like your husband? Do you really like your boyfriend, your girlfriend? Whatever, however the dynamic may go. I thought that was deep, for her to bring that up. And I think it's a good point for us to pay attention to, because, child, I know different dynamics of relationship. And I remember my mom used to tell me, when she was with her ex husband, she was like, I love him, but she was like, I really don't like him. And I was like, huh? I said, how? How is that possible? At the time, I didn't really understand what she was saying, what she meant. And she was like, no, I love him because, with my heart, and spiritually, my mom's very spiritual, whatnot. God has instructed us to love one another as He loves us. And so she loved him from like a spiritual and a godly perspective. But as far as like what they was going through, and his personality and his character and how he would treat her and stuff, it made her not like him. And so I just thought that was deep. But that's just real quick what I wanted to take from that segment. Imani, you can go next, girl.
Yeah, sorry. I I kind of got a different perspective on this, because I'm not with the person that I had a child with. And I realized, until I healed whatever I had going on and my traumas and things that had gone on in my life in the past, I never realized, and that I met the true love of my life much later on in life, because he's my friend. He checks me when when he thinks I'm wrong. We rarely ever argue about anything. We really don't. And I realized that when I said to him, I love you, I really meant it. Uh, and it might sound weird, but I don't think I really knew about true love until I met him, because I don't really think that I either loved or I liked some of the people I dated in the past. But I can say now
Mm,
that I truly love
okay.
him. He's my
Right.
best friend. And I
Mm-hmm.
know God tells us that we should love, everyone, but there are some people that I find it difficult to even give God love
Unlovable.
to.
This is very unlovable, difficult
Yeah.
lovable.
But I realized when I met him, because he was really easygoing, he was, he let me be me. He didn't want to control me. We didn't have these fights. We didn't have these games that we played. We didn't have to have this back and forth. That that's what I realized was easy, because we're friends. We discuss everything. He talks to me about what goes on when he's at work. I talk to him about what goes on in my life. And he also checks me when he thinks that I'm, going over the top. Sometimes, me, when I fly off the handle. But we don't argue. We go on holiday, and I've been on holiday with friends and their husbands, and you can tell they don't spend a lot of time together, because they'll be arguing on the holiday, because this is the first time they've spent 24/7, 7 days a week with one another, because normally they're at work and they don't get to really see each other. But I can say it's different for different people. So I can genuinely say, the man I'm with now, yeah, I genuinely have loved him for from the moment I met him right up until now. We don't have many, we don't think differently about a lot of things. And that's not because we're both controlling one another. It's just like we just let each other be who we are. That's how I see it.
Right. That's a good point that you made there. And I was talking to Carlos the other night. We was having a conversation, and we was talking about, like, people enter into and engage in relationships for different reasons and different purposes and things like that. And one of the things that I was saying, we was talking about is, like, I feel like you should approach a relationship the same way you approach a friendship, right? So I feel like, especially in 2026, I feel like females and males both have female friends and male friends. I don't know if everybody do. I would assume you do, but I think that they do. And the way that, like, you rock with your friend, and you engage and you like your friend, that's just a platonic friend. I feel like you should be able to have that same level of, friendship with the person that you want to be in a relationship with. And I think that that should come first. Like, you should feel like this person is your friend. A lot of times people be more loyal to their friends than what they are to their spouse or the person that they're dating. um and the engagement between the two is different. Like, it's like they almost in love with their friend or they in love with the person that they're in a relationship with. But I think it's because they don't really apply those same type of number one patience, right, to get to know one another. Because with your friends, you're a friend with somebody because y'all taking that time out to get to know one another. You know each other well, and the ins and outs of each other. I feel like to be in a good relationship, that should be like the criteria that comes first, like the prerequisite. That you should be like on the friend level, and then you can adapt to the romantic level. Or if you can find a way to healthily simultaneously do both at the same time, like become that person's friend while also on a journey to become more than that in the future. You know what I mean? So I don't know, that's what we were talking about. Because, like, I don't know, me and Carlos, we get along so well. And, like, we see stuff, like, sometimes majority of the things we see the same way. It's a few things that we see differently. But we also are very open to, like, getting to know one another and have gotten to know one another and know how each other operate, and how to, like, approach and deal with each other when it comes to certain things. And I just think that takes time. Like, you have to want to really engage with that person, like, in entirety. You know what I mean? Not just
Yeah,
for they this person because they got money and the lifestyle that they live, or I'm just dating this person because the muscles that they got and they find. Like, you really got to get fully in there deeply. You know what I mean? But what do you think, Imani?
yeah, that's the key thing because, like I said, we really learned a lot about each other when we first started dating. It was really like, when you're young and you just meet someone and you want to know about them and you want to know about their interests and you want to know about what they do and their life. And I think that we spent a lot of time getting to know one another. I'm not saying, I'm saying that if when I say we don't argue, there is nothing that is big enough that we can't sort it out. So we don't have
Right.
these big disagreements. We disagree on certain things, but we also know how to maneuver through our disagreements so that they
Right.
don't become issues.
Right.
I know there are certain things he doesn't tolerate, and he tells me that there are things I tolerate that he wouldn't, but and vice versa. But it doesn't, we just understand there are certain differences and certain different approaches we have to things. And I find that we're not in competition with one another for our space, for our time. We just hear each other out. And sometimes I will say, yeah, let's agree to disagree. Like, I know that when we get on a plane, uh, like when we have a long plane journey, I know that he is going to go to sleep straight away, talk to people, and leave me hanging, talking to the people that he's engaged. And I tell him, why do you do that? He says, what? I get tired. I'm going to switch off. And I say to him, stop. making friends on the plane that I've got to deal with after you fall asleep and you don't care. So, there's stuff we do that I know that exactly what he's going to do, that I can read it. And, the things that I used to make big issues about were because I didn't want to be with that person. That was the reason why they became bigger issues than they were. Whereas the things that he does, I think other people have done to me in the past, and I've made it an issue because I really didn't want to be with that person. And that's what I think it is. We have a better understanding. But yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. That definitely makes a huge difference. And I think, life and maturity, accountability, self-work, all of those things, definitely aid and assist in making relationships and relationship dynamics better. Because, like, and sometimes it's like people in relationships are not meant to last all the way to the end all the time. And I think, like fairy tales and things and stuff of that nature make you, believe that that is always the case. Like the first person you fall in love with is the person that you're going to have a happily ever after with and be with your entire life. And it's not always like that. Like that relationship and that course that it runs is good for that time. And then you may get into another one. And then for however long that course runs, that's what it is. And as you go on and on and on through life, like, and I'm not to say that that cannot happen. Like, there's some people that met in like middle school and, they been together and they all the way together up until their 90s or something like that. So, it's different strokes for different folks. For everyone, it's not going to flow, the same, but you got to find what flows and what works for you. And when you feel like you found your person or whatnot, you're just gonna know that. And like you said, things are just gonna be a lot less stressful and a lot more like flowing and easy. Um, and then when that's it. And can't nobody really give relationship advice to anyone or talk about relationship, because each and every person's relationship is going to be their own journey and experience. So no two is going to look alike. And we should not try to like aim for or mirror our relationships to look like or be like anybody else's. Um, I think that's one of the biggest issues that a lot of the youth are having, because they try to like aim and mirror their relationships to be like relationships that they see when it comes to like celebrities and the media and stuff like that. And it's like, that's their thing, and whatever it is they got going on, like, that's a separate situation between, two individuals. What your situation is going to be, I feel like you should not aim for it to look or mirror anybody else's. Like, you got to feel it. It's an emotion, it's a energy, it's a vibe, a vibration, like, it's not masking a blueprint of somebody else's relationship. It's finding what works for the two of you, and if y'all two is going to, mesh well together and be able to, have a healthy relationship, or good vibes within the relationship together. So relationship stuff get complicated. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But y'all, we're gonna go ahead and cut this one off here. We were gonna get into Gabrielle Union, but the time is running over. I've already kept y'all too long. A lot of people are saying they gotta go eat and go rest and things like that, and that's understandable. So what we'll do is we'll do the part 3, and when we do the part 3, we'll start with Gabrielle Union's part, and since we're gonna have to cut that one off from the part 2, and then we'll get into the rest of Charlamagne and Tabitha's interview. But yeah, so that's literally it. That's all I got for this one, y'all. We're gonna give some final words or whatnot before we exit, and of course we will close it out with some bops. But Imani, go ahead. You got some final words you want to give before we end it off?
Yeah, we're going to do this, and we're going to do we like to do our political weekly roundup at the end of the week, if we can, tomorrow. So we'll do this, and we'll do another political roundup if we have time. But I just wanted to say that people, I've got friends that I have had since I was at school, some of them when I was really young. Some of them that I've had since I was 11, and they are real friends. And I've made friends along the way through work that are genuine friends from all creeds, all colors, uh, uh, all nations. And the one thing I think is value your true friendships. Value, success is wonderful. Fame is impressive. Money can make life more comfortable. Hey, don't we want to be comfortable? But none of these things can replace your family, your loved ones, and genuine friendship. And a real friend, real friends don't compete with you. Real friends celebrate, your success, not your setbacks. A real friend doesn't need you to fail so they can be successful. They celebrate your victories as if they were your own. Um, you know, True friends protect you when you're not in the room. They don't gossip behind your back and smile in your face. And their loyalty isn't based on convenience, it's based on character. Because really now, because like I said, I've been seeing a lot of people that I've known for such a long time and realizing how much I am so blessed to have, not only my old friends, but my new friends. They celebrate everything that's good for you. They celebrate your healing, your marriage, they celebrate your peace. And don't give anybody unlimited access to your life. Not everyone deserves your time, your energy, your peace, or your trust, because this is some of the stuff I got from these interviews. And remember, life introduces you to many people. Some come with blessings, some come with lessons. Don't become bitter because of some of the lessons. Become wiser because of them. Keep your heart open, but your eyes open too. And choose friends who celebrate your joy, challenge you to grow, tell you the truth with kindness, and stand beside you when there's nothing to gain. Okay, it's not about social media, it's about loyalty, integrity, honesty, and mutual respect. And protect your peace, value genuine people, be kind, be the kind of friend you hope to have. And thank you for joining us today. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, take care of your loved ones, and I'll see you next time. And I love you all.
Thank you, Imani. That was beautiful as always. I love your words. And I'm gonna tell you for real, I really love I don't know, it's just how you speak. It's so eloquent. It gives me life. I have my little raspy voice over here, girl. So I just love your voice. But yeah, I definitely second
Sorry,
that.
welcome Trevor Green. Hi,
Yeah,
Trevor. Good to see you.
for coming over. We appreciate that. Thanks for popping in. It means a lot. And child, like I said, we lift each other up, and that's what we like to do over here. So we always shout out to channels and whatnot. And Trevor Green's channel is an excellent channel. If y'all have not, I'm pretty sure you have been, child, because it's hot topic on the YouTube streets. But he makes some really, really great AI like movies, like TV shows. Like it's definitely giving like Family Guy vibes, Simpsons vibes, all of that. So a very great talent. And one of the things that I really love so much about, the content that he makes on those shows is that he doesn't make anybody look, like ugly or, everybody looks pretty. The features are very, great detail as far as like the skill set, as far as the AI and the quality. And, and he's also very respectful when it comes to, when it's a conversation that's being had and it might have been something that is nasty work that's been said in real life. He will not incorporate that into the film when he does the commentary within the film. And so I really find that very respectful and appreciative, and I think his work is very um, talented. Yeah, very talented, very artistic, and yeah, pretty cool. So yeah, we be checking it out. I like watching the sagas. It's like watching the stories back in the day. My grandma used to watch the stories. So it's like the YouTube AI stories. I love it. It's cool. But yeah, shout out to Trevor Green and his platform, y'all. Y'all know he be
Yeah.
really
And
doing
if
a
you
great
haven't
job.
subscribed, go over there, support, subscribe, watch his videos. They are good music as well, Trevor. And
Yeah,
yeah, he makes people, he doesn't, yeah, all your characters look beautiful. That's one thing
they
I can say.
They absolutely do. Each and every person, like he doesn't make anybody look bad or raggedy or anything like that. Like he really, he gives integrity when it comes to making the content. And like I said, like I've heard like some of the scenes and whatnot where it's a conversation, and I know within that conversation some really nasty things have been said. He will not do that. He does not put that nasty part into the conversation for the show. And so I just think that this shows a level of integrity and respect. And I really, I like that. I like that. So yeah, shout out to Trevor Payne. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate that.
Oh, and by the way,
Yeah.
Trees with the baseball bat had me rolling.
I I had to like figure out who some of the characters were because I didn't know like all of the people. So I was like trying to figure it out, and I asked you, and I was like, "Who's the lady with the bat?" And then you told me, and I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, I got it." 'Cause I didn't know that, like I didn't know. But yo, I love it, I love it. And then he be having a open mic night, child. And people be up there doing the karaoke. They'll be having me rolling. Um, it's just a really great production overall. Like it is a really great production, and unfortunately, I wish it was more positive things being talked about or happening within the production. But hey, it's cool. You take what you got, and you turn it into art. It is what it is. He does it, I think, very well. So yeah, shout out to him. But let's go ahead and wrap it up, child. Let the people go because we didn't keep them for too long. So let me get some of my final thoughts here, okay? So y'all, I just want y'all to carry this truth in your heart, okay? Your purpose is bigger than any obstacle meant to derail you. Charlamagne showed us that your past mistakes do not have to define your future. Tabitha showed us that obedience and patience will always yield a harvest. And Gabrielle, which we listened to on the part one, and we will be listening to tomorrow on the part three, y'all, a little bit more. But within her segment, she showed us that healing is your birthright and you deserve to walk in peace. When life tries to test you, when the tech fails, child, when the health challenges pop up, when setbacks try to throw you off, you have to still remember who you are. You were built to withstand the storms. You were given the resilience to pivot, and you have the strength to power through anything. You are still here for a reason. Your story is still being written, and the best chapters are ahead. So walk with your head held high, hold on to your grace, protect your mental space, and keep stepping forward with purpose. So, love you all. Like I said, we love each other as God loves us. And keep shining. And y'all, we will see y'all on the next live. That is all I got to say. Imani, if you don't have anything more, we're going to go ahead and end it off with a bop per usual.
I got nothing more.
Okay, girl. All right, so let's go ahead and end it off, y'all. Thank you all so much for joining. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you were in the chat kicking it with us, we appreciate you coming. And even if you were just laying back in the cut and just listening, we appreciate that as well. We can feel your presence. And if you're just a bush dweller to see, what we're doing so you can be a hater, child, we know that happens as well. But that is all we got for this live, y'all. Love everybody. Thank you so much. Let's end it with a bop. We will see y'all on the next one. Golden and Imani out. Bye.
Yeah. The soul of humanity cries. A roof above, a shelter from the storm, a gentle hand to keep a spirit warm, a plate of food, a mind that's free to learn, a simple peace, a righteous wage to earn. That's right. These are the needs, the bedrock and the base, the sacred ground of the whole human race. But the screen is screaming, selling something cheap, while the real world babies cry themselves to sleep. Can't ignore it. We are human. Blood and bone and soul. Say it loud. With a right to be loved. The right to be loved. A right to be made whole. This is our slave. This is our sacred song. In the eyes of the creator. 'Cause where we all belong. We are human. Worth more than they can price. Beyond the hateful whispers and the loaded gun. Yeah, they're painting pictures, twisted and unreal, teaching our children how they ought to feel. All that value is in the label on your shoes, or the filtered life you desperately choose. They magnify the hate, they celebrate the greed, and plant a poison to suffocate your weed. We gotta reach our children, pull them from the glow and show them a beauty that the media don't know. Let them know. No tech division, the mission of the television, spitting division, a mental prison. Got the youth chasing life, addicted to the feed, ignore the hunger, the fundamental need. They love their vitals on the digital stage, putting the future artists in a ritual page. Now they gotta break the cycle, gotta cut the cord. The real word is powerful, mightier than the source. We teach them about their history, teach them about their grace, teach them about the power in every single face. Let's go. We are human. Loud and blown and soul. Everyone got a right to be loved. Got the right to be loved. A right to be made whole. This is our story. This is our sacred song. In the eyes of the creator. There we all belong. We are human. Worth more than they can price. The other hateful whispers and the loaded gun. You will build a world where every voice is heard. Every single one, from the suburbs to the curb. And love is not a whisper, but a mighty thundering wave. A word of action, breaking the chain. A word of power, washing out the pain. It ain't a feeling, it's a verb. It's what you do for me, for them, for us, for you. 'Cause they just a track, just a call to action for every mother, father, every single fraction of the unity, holding it down on the ground. Time to get loud, make a revolutionary sound. Look your child in the eye, tell her that they matter. Tell them their spirit's something that don't lie and shine. That's all them knowledge is the weapon, love is the shield, and the truth is the harvest. We gonna grow in this field, yeah. We are human. Oh yes, we are. Teach for children. Learn power. Teach for truth. Reach where you let the rules in the fruit. See the fruit. We are human. A right to live. Right to live. Oh. Teach the truth. Reach where you let the rules in the fruit. We are human. Single soul on this Yeah. The air is thick with whispers, digital ghosts in the machine. They feed us fiction till our visions blur. You know the scene, you know it. Static on the screen, a 24-hour screen. All day, selling us a fractured dream, tearing at the seams. Facts, they got us locked in little boxes, picking sides. Pick a sides, while the real tide rises. And nobody hides, nobody. Podiums are burning, bridges turn to ash and dust. That trading rhetoric like bullets, banking on our lack of trust. That's right, got us debating headlines while the rent keeps going high. Got us fighting over labels while the future passes by. Like politicians playing chess with pawns that look like you and me. Selling off tomorrow for another jump in GDP. And what we talking about, the foolishness, the vanity. Arguing online while communities lose humanity. A fake voice on a fake beat gets more rage and more ink than a real mother working 3 jobs standing on the brink. They engineered the outrage, designed it to divide. So we never look up from our phones to see the coming tide. Can you hear the war drums pounding out a rhythm low? They're marching us to battle for a God we do not know. They want us choosing colors, but our blood all runs the same. Just strangers in a mirror, whispering a different name. And I'm praying for the day the sun won't care what shade we are, that we can see the human heart behind the battle scar. Tear down the flags and see the faces before we run out of safe places. I see the babies born into this atmosphere of hate. Taught to fear their neighbor before they learn to communicate. Lines drawn in the sand by hands that never touch the soil. While the working class backbone is bent in endless toil. From city blocks to country roads, from oceans to the plains. Different stories, different struggles, but we're carrying the same pain. Keep the people fighting over scraps upon the floor, so they never band together and demand a little more. Tell 'em they call it patriotism, tradition, call it pride. I call it ancient venom with a modern place to hide. Skin tone is the uniform they gave us for their war. The soul inside the flesh is what we should be fighting for. And I'm tired, so tired of singing this eulogy. Such a high people drown, believe manufactured hostility. The people got the power if they ever truly see. See the chains are built from fear, not inevitability. Break free. No politician can heal a divided heart. No billionaire can tell us who we are. Who we are. The answer lives inside the people. Inside the people. Inside the people. Can you hear the war drum pounding out a rhythm low? They're marching us to battle for a God we do not know. They want us choosing colors, but our blood all runs the same. Just strangers in a mirror, whispering a different name. And I'm praying for the day the sun won't care what shade we are, that we can see the human heart behind the battle scar. Tear down the flags and see the faces before we run out of safe places. What if we looked each other in the eye, past the melanin, past the zip codes, and the bank accounts they fence us in? What if our only currency was empathy and grace? What if we found our real reflection in a stranger's face? This ain't a lyric, it's a lifeline. This ain't a song, it's a reminder. The real war was never race against race or neighbor against neighbor. It's truth against deception, wisdom against ignorance, love against fear. And every single day we choose which side wins. Ooh. had to change the way I move before I change the way they see me. Turn me up. Let's ride. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's ride. Hey, hey, hey. I had to clean up my mind.
Can y'all hear me? Y'all, I'm trying to exit out now. But y'all saying you can't hear it? There's no sound. You're not hearing the music, huh? The music is not playing? Interesting. That's weird. So I thought we was ending it with a boppy bop bop bop. Boy, apparently you just heard it just now? Okay, so now you're hearing it. Okay, all right, but the first time you wasn't hearing it. All right, let me try it again, y'all. This is just, I can't with this daggone StreamYard in this mess. All right, y'all, let me try it again. Hold on.
I had to change the way I move before I change the way they see me. Turn me up. Let's ride. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's ride. Hey, hey, hey. I had to clean up my mindset before I cleaned up my image. Can't build a new future, still trapping, no decisions. Every scar left a lesson, every loss gave me vision. Had to stop looking backwards just to see my position. I ain't chasing the noise, I let purpose make the sound. Stop searching for approval when I finally found myself now. I don't need a room full of people saying my name. When I know who I am, I don't move the same. They watch the numbers change, they watch the season shift, but the one thing that stayed silent was the fire in my spirit. Too focused to be bitter, too grown to stay little. Every challenge built my armor, now I'm sharper in the middle. I found my power when I lost validation. Turn my pain into my motivation. This ain't ego, this elevation. Every setback was my preparation. I changed my heart, now my art hits different. I changed my mind. Old conditions. I don't move for the lights. I move because I'm driven. If it don't match my purpose, I don't need permission. Pivot, elevate, create. That's the energy. Pivot, elevate, create. That's the legacy. Energy. Hey, 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 hey. Every masterpiece started when they told somebody no. Now they watching every level while I'm building my own road. I never had to fake it, never had to play it road. I was busy building something they can never take control. Now got the speakers knocking, windows shaking, doom, dreams in motion. No more waiting, no more people pleasing, no more imitation. Queens build empire. We don't beg for invitations. See, growth gets quiet before everybody sees it. They love the flowers but forget who planted the seeds. I was working in the shadows, I was fighting through the night. Now I'm standing in my moment and the view looks right. You can question my journey but respect what it took. You only see the chapter, you don't know the whole book. If I change, let me change. If I grow, let me grow. I was never meant to stay in the places that broke me. New mindset, new direction, new energy, new reflection. I don't owe an apology for becoming who I'm meant to be. I changed my soul, now my voice got power. Changed my vision, now I'm rising every hour. Every setback made me stronger inside. Every mountain built the woman I am tonight. We don't fall, we rise. We don't stop, we shine. I created my story, now I'm walking in my light. Pivot, elevate, create. That's the energy. Pivot, elevate, create. That's the legacy. They thought I was changing, I was evolving. They don't know her like I do. Nah. Golden. She moved through the city with her hair held high. Pretty brown skin with a storm inside. Everybody see the glow, they don't know the pressure. Smile so warm, but her heart no weather. Late nights riding while the skyline blur. Trying not to cry when the memories occurred. Had to learn fast, everybody ain't loyal. Some people love you long as they control you. Now she move careful, energy expensive. Too many fake vibes hiding in the friendship. Used to give love with her hands wide open. Now every scar got the whole vibe frozen. They don't know her like I. No, they don't know. She goes by golden, soft voice, deep soul, hope or glowing. She goes by golden. City lights dancing with her heart stay open. Long dark roads, but she still stay focused. Everybody watching, but they don't really know. She goes by golden. Too much grace with the games they throwing. Real love, rare, so spirits they got it. Beautiful soul, but the pain left marks in it. Mirror tell the truth when the lights go dim. All the things she carry weight heavy within. She survived nights she don't even speak on. Still finding peace but the whole world ain't wrong. Funny how the love disappear when you're healing. Funny how the fate come around when you win. Now she trusts God more than people intend. Just cause smiles hot and being hidden in the big. She's still soft-hearted but she way less naive. Can't keep pouring love but there's nothing received. Still dancing slow through the hurt and confusion. Trying not to lose herself chasing illusions. She survived the fire. Still glowing through the smoke. Still still dangerous. Still chosen. She goes back golden. Snow so deep made the whole room notice. Heavy lies couldn't break what was chosen. Still standing tall while the whole world folding. She goes back golden. Heartbreak turned to pain in the matter. Now the tears got rhythm when she's singing. And they still don't know her like that. They still don't know her like that. Spend too much time looking for love in strangers. Spend too much time letting outside voices shake the mirror. But at the end of the night, when the lights fade, when the city cried, when the tears dried, we're still good.